such thing as a broken heart. We gotta love. You gotta love. You gotta love like there's no such thing as a broken heart.
1, 2, 3, 3.
Got a head full of noise, about 100 different things I'm trying to avoid. I got a mind in the gutter, trouble on one hand, a beer in the other. Got the windows down and my fingers crossed, just looking for a brand new way to get lost. So long, 4 wheels turning, got a tank full of gas down the road I'm burning. Can't say a word and I can't say a word, and if I don't come back, don't come looking. Feels good, about time. Blue skies ahead and BS behind. Got the wind in my head, got nowhere to go, so I'm already there. Maybe Moab, maybe the Rockies, maybe the great soft plains of the hills of Kentucky, maybe north, maybe south. I don't care as long as it's now. So long, 4 wheels turning, got a tank full of gas down the road I'm burning. Can't say a word and I can't say a word, and if I don't come back, don't come a-looking. If you wanna get down tonight, come on. If you're looking for a real good time, come on. If you kinda wanna lose your mind, so long, 4 wheels turning, got a tank full of gas down the road I'm running. Can't say a word and I can't say a word, and if I don't come back, don't.
This is Sportsvisions 92.1. You're listening to the Sportsvisions Morning Show, brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. Here's DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Good Thursday morning and welcome, everybody. Actually, it's Friday morning. I'm giving myself a break. Hey, good Friday morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Sportsvisions Morning Show. I am Walter, and Betty Jones's baby boy, Daryl DJ Jones, as well. Coach Bush's grandson, the Thrifter, is on vacation. He is taking a much-needed vacay, and of course, but not again. It's one of those things that you just got to do. But the girl dad himself is in the building. Richard Rich, he is the Swiss Army knife. Richard, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, DJ. Yeah, I'm just honored to be here. Thrift needed a well-deserved vacation, and he did a great job training me up on this board for several months, and I'm excited about this show.
Absolutely. One thing about it is that, you work hard, you play hard. And again, definitely sometimes you just need to just take a step back, reboot. As I mentioned before, Thrift's a young guy. He's hungry. He wants it, and we want it for him as well. But sometimes you just you have to take some me time, and he has the opportunity to spend some time with his family and his loved ones, and that's a great, great thing. But got a great show on deck for you today. First of all, let me just say hello to everybody out there in Facebook land. We appreciate you joining us this morning. We just appreciate the opportunity, Richard, just to have help people get their day started, and there's something to be said about that.
Yeah, I think that when you're getting refreshed, you might go to the gym or go grab a cup of coffee. A lot of people are coming into work, especially that traffic going on I-85. You're stuck in traffic going to Fort Benning, at the gate. Why not listen to Sports Talk Radio, Sportsvisions 92.1, because we're going to inform you on everything that's going on in the world of sports. And we do this 5 days a week and just local sports talk radio here in Columbus. And there's so many topics that we can definitely talk about, and nothing's out of bounds.
You said it. Hey, man, listen, we just, like I said, appreciate the fact that we were able to help you get your day started. And all we ask you to do is to tell a friend, just to tell a friend to tell a friend that the Sports Visions Morning Show is on the air now. And for all of our great friends out there in WLTC HD2 land, Sports Visions 92.1, we love you, but it ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
Hello, somebody.
Hey, let's get this party started, Richard. I think that we are off and running. Just a lot going on, man. I tell you, we got a great lineup today. Obviously, high school football is right around the corner. And again, the unsung heroes are the officials, the referees, whatever you call it in your town or your neighborhood, your school. But high school referees, football referees in particularly, have a big job. They are a big part of high school football, a game. And, they keep everything between the lines and, of course, keep the rules and regulations. Just decrease a lot of chaos in my mind. And a lot of people don't understand, the patience, the dedication that goes into, being a referee. Dana Barker, who is a multi-talented young man who has done a little bit of everything. He does a little bit of everything. He's a meteorologist. He's also, a play-by-play announcer with the hockey team. It's a lot of things, but more importantly, he is a high school official, a high school football referee. And we're going to have him on this morning, first thing, and just at 6:30, and to kind of kick it off, to talk about his commitment, their commitment, meaning referees, how they prepare. A lot of people know out there, Richard, we were just talking prior to the show, is that, peeling back layers in sports, it's easy to talk about the game. It's easy to talk about, stats and that type of thing. But when you talk about the individual, what does it take? And as we take pride here on the Sports Visions Morning Show into enlightening, we like to say we inform, educate, and entertain. But the fact of the matter is that, do you really know what it takes to become a referee?
Yeah, and that's why I'm really looking forward to hearing what Dana Barker has to say about being an official, because there's a lot of steps that go into that. I know there's some young officials that maybe if they've done like youth leagues that they want to call the big games. Well, Dana Barker has been calling Super 7 championships. I mean, every time we're calling a game and we see him on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, we try to give him a shout out. He's usually wearing the white hat. He'll, when you have a good sound system in the football stadium, he's usually the one that's actually given the penalties. And, I got a chance to know Dana Barker a couple of years ago when I was the PA announcer for Russell County. I know that he takes a lot of passion into officiating. And I know that I'm excited to hear what he has to say.
Well, Dana is definitely a very talented guy, but we're going to take the time to kind of peel back the layers and go there. We want to go there for you. And again, the questions, I'm one of the biggest sports fans there are, but we do know that in most of these games, the players, as they deserve to get most of the attention, the coaches obviously have their glory, but the officials, the guys that keep it tight and right, as I like to say, keep it tight and right, meaning, hey, look, let's go through this game without a whole lot of, mistakes or penalties, if you will. And that's easier said than done, but that's the goal of most referees. And we'll also find out, because there are always several referees in football, more than basketball and more than in baseball. So we'll get an opportunity to ask asking him about, what the specific challenges are or the specific duties of all the referees.
Yeah, and his official title is Big East Officials Association President, and he is actually going to lead off East Alabama Media Days up in Opelika Wednesday, July the 30th. So they're definitely interested in what he has to say. And he does AHSAA games, and I've seen him do GHSA games as well. But, that organization, the Big East organization, they do most of those games in East Alabama, like the Central, Smith Station, Russell County, Opelika. So I'm excited to hear what he has to say.
Absolutely. Also at 7:30, actually, Dana will be with us at 6:30. Drew Pavan is scheduled to be with us at 7:30, and he is, of course, the sports anchor reporter with WTVM. He works with Tony Reese, who's the sports director over there. But Drew is also an Alabama man. Yeah. He's a Crimson Tider, and he has spent quite some considerable time in Tuscaloosa. So in addition to his duties as a sports guy for WTVM, we get some inside information, because I'm sure he could pick up the phone and make a few phone calls, like most people who actually have gone to colleges and know people and, of course, know the lay of the land. So, and again, I was very impressed with Drew as he was able to show how diverse he was with regarding the different sports and then being able to express himself on the radio, because obviously on television it's a little different, Richard. It's scripted and you don't have a lot of time. So you got to go right by the books. On the radio, you kind of can shoot from the hip, but you still have to be organized. But again, the more knowledge that you have, the more content that you have, makes for a better radio show.
Yeah, I've gotten to know Drew Pavan. He's been in this market for almost a year now. One thing about Drew Pavan, he is young, he's energetic, he's passionate. I've had the opportunity to interview him a couple times. We had an interview that we did at SEC Media Days. I know that was his first SEC Media Days for WTVM, but he's been around in the Birmingham market and other markets as well. And I'm just excited to hear what his experience was at SEC Media Days, because it was his first one for WTVM, and what it's like. What is he looking forward to for high school football season that's coming up?
Two newbies, your first experience as well. But I'd like to introduce, Pavan as, the 6'7" shooting guard out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Of course,
yeah.
he says he likes it, but he's a tall guy. He definitely, when he walks in the room, obviously he commands attention because he's about 6, 7, 8 inches taller than everybody else when he's walking in. But definitely a presence. And I know that means for something when you walk into not just an SEC room, but when you walk on a campus or walk on a high school football field or walking into a gymnasium, he gets the attention.
Yeah, I definitely want to ask him what his playing days were like, because you could definitely tell that he played basketball, football, even baseball. He has a presence, like you could tell, oh yeah, that guy's a former athlete.
Absolutely. I like the chemistry between he and Tony as well. Those guys had their hands full and eager to talk about. I know we had when we're talking to the guy Jack and all the work that he and Tyler did over at RBL, they were outstanding. But we'll get an opportunity to hear the insight, of course, how Tony and of course Drew did their thing between SEC Media Days and the Major League Baseball All-Star Game.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It was just an exciting time just to have the All-Star Game and SEC Media Days. And we were all in the same room together, the electronic media room. And I could just see Drew and Tony just going back and forth, trying to get as many interviews as possible, coming back to the room and uploading the video and trying to make sure that their content gets out there. And it was just great. And we had a chance after hours to hang out too at Stats. So that's where we watched the All-Star Game, and Drew and Tony, and then also Jeremy Hayes was there, and it was just nice just to hang out with the WTVM staff.
And of course, at 8 o'clock, Thomas Sims. You've known if you've heard him here a couple of times. He gets some great information. He's a NFLPA certified agent, so he can go there. He's also a former SEC standout with the defensive back with the Tennessee Volunteers. But he's been in the agency business over 20 years. And let me just tell you something, dealing with professional athletes and negotiating contracts with teams for that amount of time, that means for something. And obviously, a lot of the agents are, kind of go through a little process. They, the guys can't put up or can't compete, can't earn their way. And again, it's a tough business, but we've been able to find a guy that can give us some behind-the-scene information. Thomas Sims, a great friend that, I'm looking forward to talking to him. Some of the subjects today in particularly, I know that you might be been wondering, Teddy Bridgewater, who is a former National Football League quarterback, is coaching high school football down in around Miami, where he's from, his hometown. He's most recently had come up against some situations that really not that popular. He was suspended for apparently, some wrongdoings. And we'll talk to Thomas about, some of the things that Teddy Bridgewater, and again, as it relates to, us and how we compare it. Teddy Bridgewater was a quarterback in the National Football League for a considerable amount of time. So his pockets are a little deeper than most. Yeah. So again, a lot of the fundraising that goes on as we know it, and here, Richard, with the coaches and whatnot, he doesn't have to go out and beg anybody. If he wants it done for his team in particularly, he can go out and get it done. But how much is enough? How much is too much? And that's apparently what's led down this road that Teddy Bridgewater has gone with regards to his suspension.
Yeah, I'm very interested to hear the entire story because we don't have all the details, but we know the accolades of Teddy Bridgewater. Played at Louisville, and he's played for the Vikings and the Dolphins. He's been a formidable quarterback, and he actually could still play, but he walked away to coach high school football and had success. So with him being suspended, there's just a lot of question marks, but I'm excited to hear what Thomas Sims has to say, especially with NFL training camp. A lot of teams are underway. I mean, you've got players holding out. I mean, you've got contract negotiations. It's just exciting just to hear what Thomas Sims has to say.
Absolutely. And to go with what you just said, obviously, we heard about the first rounders. We know that that's a lock when you get drafted. But the second rounders are now starting to want to command and demand guaranteed contracts, and they're starting to hold out. So, again, you're seeing it start to trickle down the tree a little bit with regards to NFL draft choices and their opportunities to go ahead and sign and compete in training camp. But again, a guy who's been there, done that, been in the business over 20 years. I think it's about 25 years to be exact.
Wow.
So he has a lot of knowledge that he could share with us today. And that's the lineup for Richard. I tell you, looking forward to it. Obviously looking forward to you. And again, exploring all of the opportunities that you had afforded to you up in SEC Media Days. Your first one, you mentioned Drew Pavan having a first opportunity, but your first one, obviously, we'll just start with that right now. I know you mentioned a little bit of it. You and Thrift both yesterday talked about it, but you guys did a great job, by the way.
Well, appreciate that, DJ. So we got up there Monday afternoon. All the teams, LSU, South Carolina, and Ole Miss, they're already were done wrapping up. We got into the main media, and Vanderbilt was finishing up, but we pretty much just got there just to do a hit, just to give a recap of the teams, and just to get a feel for the room. So we were mainly in the electronic media room. We were kind of going back and forth between two places, and then we found out the next day that we could actually go through the hotel to the College Football Hall of Fame. Like, we didn't know where that route was, and we started seeing a bunch of media go that way. So that was a lot easier than to go outside the hotel and walk across to the College Football Hall of Fame. But day two, I tell you, when you got Tennessee, Texas, Georgia, Auburn, so two of the teams that we cover on one day, and we had some early days. Obviously, we did not stay at the hotel. I was getting up at like 5 a.m. and making sure to head down to the Omni, and just right at the right time. You had Hugh Freeze starting things off at 9. You had Kirby Smart. We actually missed one of the interviews because when you're going from the main media to the electronic media. But Tuesday was a busy day. Wednesday we had Alabama. And, we stuck around because I wanted to hear Florida. There was that local angle, and then Oklahoma as well. So it was a great event. Had a lot of fun. Got to interview Jake Crane, and we had those hits every day, and it was just a great experience.
All right. I tell you what we're going to do. Let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll continue with your experiences in Atlanta at SEC Media Days. Hey, you're watching Facebook Live, and you're listening to WOTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
You smoke, I drink, go good, the finger get hot. That's right.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for making us your home for local, regional, national sports talk in the Chattahoochee Valley. This is Sports Visions 92.1.
Good morning, I'm Rex Castillo. Here's a look at your morning headlines. 41-year-old Aaron Williams is the Auburn man now charged with capital murder and kidnapping following the shooting deaths of his wife and her teenage daughter. He was extradited from Tennessee and is now being held without bond in a Lee County jail. According to new records, the gun used in the killings, based on forensics, was found in Williams' possession, and he was captured in Tennessee. Williams is now facing 4 counts of capital murder and 1 count of kidnapping. Meanwhile, 52-year-old Cesar Campos Reyes is expected to appear in court at 11 a.m. Central Time. He's accused of defrauding COVID relief programs and misusing more than $225,000 in funds intended to help small businesses survive the pandemic. He turned himself into authorities late Tuesday. That followed a day of raids on multiple businesses in the Auburn-Opelika area by federal agents. Campos Reyes has been indicted by a federal grand jury. From WRBL News 3, I'm Rex Castillo. Have a great rest of your day.
Good Friday morning. We're off to a muggy and partly cloudy start. Those temperatures in the mid-70s, and expect a similar forecast this afternoon like we experienced yesterday. Highs reach the mid to low 90s before isolated showers and storms cool us off. all associated with that tropical moisture. And heading into the weekend, rain chances back off with that heat building in the forecast. Those highs likely to reach upper 90s in some spots. Heat and humidity staying in that extended forecast. The dog days of summer are here.
Attorney advertising. Georgia. Attorney 770 Good Law Car Accident Lawyers. Paid after dramatization. Top dog does not mean we are the best. No guarantees of success.
If you don't stop playing, that dog ain't playing. If you don't get that dog what he want, I'm telling you he's gonna bite you. Just give him what he want. Don't go back and forth with him. Just give him what he want. Oh, now you done did it. The dog starts to walk around in circles. When he get ready to do that, he's getting ready to bite you. He ain't chasing his tail. He's getting ready to bite you. Oh no, he's biting you. Top dog, chill. Let him go. You gotta chill. You gonna hurt him. Go and kill him. Just give him what he want. You give him what he want, he'll let you go. Just give him what he want. See how easy it was. That's all you had to do. Just had to give him what he want. He would have been let you go. Now you hurt. They didn't have to be this way. All that money your insurance company made. I know Top Dog wanted a lot, but all you had to do is just give it to him. Any accident, Top Dog Law.
ProvidaFest Indie Music and Arts Festival is Saturday, August 16th at Woodruff Park in Uptown. Enjoy live music from local artists, fun field day games, delicious food trucks, and more. Get tickets at providafest.com.
Join Mark Patrick's seminars and lose the weight guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Seminars Wednesday, July 23rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites at Northlake in Columbus. Weight loss seminar starts at 5:30 p.m. with registration starting at 5 p.m. Stop smoking seminar starts at 8 p.m. with registration at 7:30 p.m.
Every day, 12 children die from sepsis, more than from cancer. Most people don't know the word sepsis or the symptoms. Protect yourself and your loved ones. To learn more about the symptoms, go to sepsis.org.
Working safely around underground utilities could put you at risk for outages, injury, and loss of life. Don't risk it. Alabama 811 plays a vital role in taking the request to have underground utilities marked. It's free, it's simple, it's the law. Visit al811.com for more info.
My name is Corporal Bradley Joseph Seitz.
Jerry Reed.
Kate Weber.
These are real veterans facing a real challenge.
I have PTSD.
And I have PTSD.
I have PTSD.
Post-traumatic stress disorder can happen to anyone.
I was still in a war zone in my mind.
But treatment can turn your life around.
Treatment has really saved my life.
To learn about PTSD and how treatment can help you, call your local VA medical center or visit ptsd.va.gov.
At the YMCA, finding your why starts by making an impact together, touching lives for the better. It can be the gift of time or treasure, supporting a community through talent without measure. Here, compassion fuels commitment, finding fulfillment through enrichment, serving and improving. What a way to live, and what a gift it is to give. Find your why and get involved today at ymca.org for a better us.
Your home for the Dan Patrick Show, 9 to 12 on Sports Visions 92.1. Now back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Here's former Green Bay Packer DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones and Richard Holdridge. Thrift is on a very, very much needed vacay. I tell you, man, I'm so happy and proud of that young man, and he's just getting a little R&R with the family. Hey, man, listen, it's Friday, and of course it's Flashback Friday. Yesterday was Throwback Thursday, and Richard, I was just thinking about. I asked you and Thrift yesterday about throwbacks and what was relevant around the SEC Media Days, and we talked about a lot of different things. But I ran across a picture of my 1980 national championship teammates. We had a celebration back in 2005 up at Atlanta at Dantana's, and we had a series of events. But our 45th anniversary of our national championship team of 1980 will be, of course, this year. It is this year, and we'll be celebrating it, next month up in Athens with a lot of the teammates that'll be coming back. But Frank Ross enjoyed having the captain of our 1980 championship team on yesterday. And if you, of course, want to go back, you could go back to our Facebook page or also Spotify. You can go see that. But the fact of the matter, in 1980, Richard, where were you?
I was 1 year old.
1 year old.
And I don't even remember, because that Sugar Bowl against Notre Dame was 1981. So it was the 1980 season. So I go back in the history of what was going on during that time, the Miracle on Ice, the Winter Olympics, and then hearing about Georgia, convincingly winning the national having a national championship season, because, that was a different time because there was no college football playoff. There was no trying to get number one versus number two because you had the traditional bowl games. And so you had maybe teams that on the outskirts like Pitt ended up having they have to vote on that, and sometimes teams share national championships. That was before 1998. But
and you remember all of that, and you were 1 year old.
No, I don't remember any of that. No, but I do remember hearing about like Herschel Walker and just that great national championship team from 1980, which is it's relived by Georgia fans, and I know that they were excited about that team because it paved the way for Georgia to be what Georgia is now with the multiple national championships.
Absolutely. I just wanted to make mention of that. If you wanted to go back and see some of the old greats, Eddie Meat Cleaver Weaver, of course, we had Rex Robinson. I was a kicker. He was on there. The famous Vince Dooley was on the picture. But we were hanging out and smoking cigars even back then in 2005. But again, let's go ahead and fast forward back to where we were before we went to the break. Obviously, Richard, you were giving us a recap of media days and how it meant to you, your first one. And I think your feet, they're just starting to touch the ground after being in Atlanta with so many of your colleagues. And I tell you, man, it's nothing like it.
Yeah, it was a great experience. And just getting to know all the TV stations from the local area, from Montgomery, Macon, because our paths crossed during high school football season. But I wasn't overwhelmed. I was just embracing the moment because I was a part of the media and I had the same access as everybody. I enjoyed just the conversations going on Digital Drive and talking to the local sports guy in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Or I realized that there's sports talk radio up in Auburn, talking to Jacob Goings, who's the voice of Auburn football, Auburn High football. And it really got me, not just a network, but it also got me in that moment where, I'm doing this because we have a job to do because, we cover Georgia, Auburn, and Alabama on this show. But it also, not only gave me the knowledge, but it also gave me just the access that I need so we could do a good job talking about these teams. And I was just fortunate that I got to ask a question to Coach Brent Venables of Oklahoma. In fact, that's actually on the reel. And then, of course, doing those hits with Thrift Barringer. And Thrift and I was right by Thrift when Thrift asked that question about Matt Napier to the Florida coach, Billy Napier. Yeah, I just happened to be right there because I was actually videoing it. And so we made the TV. And then also I had somebody said, I saw you on the Feinbaum show, just walk across the room. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. That was an accident.
A star,
That
boy.
was an accident. I did not mean to do that. I was trying to go get something to eat.
Your life will never be the same. When you walk into a mall now, everybody wants to take selfies of you. They recognize you on the street. I mean, people are honking their horns. Man, it's amazing what happens after an SEC Media Day appearance.
Absolutely. And most importantly, I felt this is very important because I did live up in the Atlanta area for 10 years, was to talk to the local sports talk radio stations in Atlanta, 92.9 The Game and 680 The Fan, just because that meant a lot to me. And it really put a bug in my ear when I was living up in Atlanta. I said, maybe I could do this.
Yeah.
Like I was listening to them and like
shoot your shot.
Yeah. And that's really just, it's about networking. I know several people at those stations, but getting to see Dukes and Bell for the first time in 6 years, because I actually got a picture with them and went to their remote in 2019. Of course, they didn't remember me, but I told them, I'm down in Columbus now. I used to live in Atlanta. And it was just great just to talk to the local people and some of the national people as well.
Good. I'm glad to have that. But you know what? You want to build on that and not those, because as we talked about yesterday, again, you guys made reference to a good friend of mine, AP Stidham, who has just got all the questions. When you get in the big room, all the people you want to know why they have favor is because they have been there, done it, got the T-shirt, and they have done a great job of being cordial and being professional to the folks that call the shots, and that's what you have to do. And I know young guys. It's great to, and again, you got to have it too with the knowledge and the wisdom and understanding that everything about the game, but just the basic essentials that I tell, high school kids and young people all the time. Be a good person. I mean, you go in there and do what your mommy and dad taught you a long time ago. You walk into a room, you speak to people. You don't develop eye contact. Look them in the eyes. Shake a good firm handshake. This is all old school stuff. that works to this day still.
Yeah. AP Stedham, you know that he was going to get that first or second question in. Like he gets there early. He raises his hand immediately.
Yep.
I've learned that that's what you had to do. And that's why I took my opportunity when I saw that Coach Venables was going into the room. And remember, there's not a whole lot of Oklahoma media here. So that I took my opportunity, even though we're not really covering Oklahoma. I did have a question for Coach Venables talking about what was it like being in the first year in the SEC.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go into detail about the season, but, they went 6-7, but, they look to be one of the surprise teams this year. And I know that there's a lot of people that want to know how well Oklahoma is going to do this year. And I know that Coach Venables appreciated that question. And I got the first one out of the way. So the next time, maybe we can go when Kirby's or Hugh Freeze, when they enter the room and you have like 3 times as many media, we just keep our hand up. That's what me and Thrift just practice. Like we keep our hand up because, you never know.
You said something that was definitely spot on. Again, getting there early. I mean, these guys know, again, we talked about that last week as far as the etiquette. We talked to a lot of different people and got a lot of different advice from a lot of different media and journalists talking about how you should conduct yourself, the best way to be more effective at media day, how to. So again, the main thing that kept coming out was being early, getting in position so that, you already know what's going to happen. You just got to get there early. You can't show up 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 10 minutes before, the assignment or the appointment or the coach making the presentation. Some guys being, in there an hour before, an hour and a half. I mean, as soon as they open it, if it's important to you, if you really want to have an opportunity to get in eyesight of that, that's what you have to do. And again, regardless of, what you might say, that's what AP Stedham has done over the year, and he's done it year after year after year. And again, and along the way, he shaked a few hands, kissed a few babies, and now the people look forward to seeing him.
Yeah, know that schedule. You've got to know when that coach is going to take the podium, whether it's in the main media where you see that on the SEC network, or in the electronic media where it's a smaller setting and you have, we're busy working and trying to get our stories out, and we just happen to see that they got the skip and repeat backdrop of Florida, and then Coach Napier's coming to take the podium. It's like, oh, let's go in our seats and let's go ahead and ask Coach Napier a question. And same with the players. I know that I didn't really emphasize any players except Arch Manning, because I know there's just a lot of eyeballs on Arch this year.
Yeah.
And I understand why there was a lot of media members that wanted to hear what he had to say, but there was obviously, Gunnar Stockton, you also have Jackson Arnold. They were part of media days. And I thought that was important that the coach was able to bring 3 players to have them experience media day as well.
All right, let's go ahead and take a break. You are watching Facebook Live and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. We are your hometown sports guys.
Yeah. I've been moving calm, don't start no trouble with me. Trying to keep it peaceful is a struggle for me. Don't pull up at 6 a.m. to cuddle.
Sportsvisions 92.1.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the AHSAA, are the 138,000 high school sports students in Alabama. And so we stand. We stand for the runners, soccer and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, administrators, and officials. We stand for the swimmers, football players, and wrestlers. We stand for the golfers, softball, and volleyball players. We stand as the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and all who participate in them and make them possible, because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
In Iraq, our truck hit a roadside bomb. I had about 16 surgeries on my hand so that I could regain function. And when I came home, I needed a new roof due to a storm. And my electrical was deemed unsafe. And I was about to lose homeowners insurance as well. I didn't really know where to go in order to get help. And so I applied for Operation Homefront Critical Financial Assistance Program. They've really been a blessing. Operation Homefront is the safety net. A lot of veterans, they fall through the cracks sometimes, and Operation Homefront, they catch us. It's been a blessing to us. It's a blessing to other veteran families, and it's good to know that when we come home, there are people who are there that care about us and want to see us do well and want to see us succeed, and we feel it, and we appreciate that. I would say you guys are angels behind closed doors.
Visit OperationHomefront.org to learn more.
I'm Shanola Hampton. Every day, millions of people face hunger. Today, I will share with you some of their experiences. I'm stuck between paying for medications or paying for food. John from Maine. After paying my bills, I can buy groceries. It's sad to say, food comes last. Alice from Oregon. I thought pantries were for less fortunate people, but anybody could be less fortunate in a day or even a second. Claire from Virginia. The Feeding America network of food banks helps provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. No one should have to worry where their next meal will come from. Together, we can end hunger. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
You're listening to the Sportsvisions Morning Show, brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. Now back to DJ and Thrift on Sportsvisions 92.1.
Welcome back to the Sportsvisions Morning Show. DJ Jones, Richard Holdridge. Thrift is relaxing, hopefully, and listening right now. And again, we want to wish him well. He's enjoying his vacay with family and loved ones, and we appreciate the fact that he's having an opportunity to take a break. Hey, without further ado, let's go ahead and bring up our first guest. His name is Dana Barker. Good morning, Dana. How are you? And welcome to the Sportsvisions Morning Show.
Good morning to you, DJ. Good morning to you, Richard, as well. Great to be here and TGIF to y'all.
Same to you, my friend. I
Absolutely.
know it's an early morning for you, but again, a guy like you who multitask and is so good at so many different things. You're an IT expert. You're a referee. You're an announcer. I mean, I tell you what, you're living your best life.
Something like that. Who needs sleep, right? You're dead, right? Nah.
Absolutely. Yep. But what I wanted to do, and again, as I told the people in the introduction earlier, and when we started the show, is that, the game of football is, especially high school football, is just a couple of weeks away. And obviously the players and the coaches are the game, and they should get the lion's share of all the recognition, and the spotlight is on them. But there's a group of guys that, are necessary to keep that game policed the right way. To make sure that the rules are followed, and of course to keep that game tight and right. And that's referees, high school football referees. You are one of the best in the area, and glad to have you on to kind of educate our fans, our parents, our coaches, our players, and our little folks that are a little long in the tooth that just think all you guys do is run around in striped shirts.
Right. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And, I've been to I've reached the goal that I wanted to reach. I got to call a state championship game 2 years ago. So I'm trying to give back now, help out the younger guys that haven't been, and get people to where they want to go goals wise. And like you said, kind of show people, we're not just out there running around. We're not just out there, we're not going to home cook for one team or the other. We're out there to call a fair game and make sure the kids are fine and don't get hurt. I always say it's like having 22 of our kids out there whenever we do a ball game, and that, and also just being able to communicate to coaches and talking to coaches and I always say it, and my saying is, we talk to and not at players and coaches. We're human. We're human too. We don't want to be robotic out there. So, that it's more and more important these days, DJ, to have more of the soft skills, if you will, not just knowing what holding is, what pass interference is, but being able to communicate that and talk to the coaches and players about that.
Dana, there's a lot of work and personnel that goes into just one high school football game. You got the officials that are up in the press box working the play clock and the game clock, and then you have your sideline crew. Just talk about, how many officials do you need to actually see just about every angle? Are there some schools that have replay? And just talk about just everything that goes into a Friday night or even a Thursday night sometimes.
Yeah, touch on replay real quick. Alabama was one of, I think, 3 or 4 states that experimented with that a few years ago. Georgia was not. We now have replay only state championship games on both sides of the river. We go back to DJ. I think remember what the Sandy Creek ball game. I think over at it was at Mercedes-Benz or somewhere where the call where the guy was 1 yard short and they came up like this, and that was that started having replay in your state championship games. That's really that's the only place where we have replay. I'd love to have it, but it's a cost thing. You've got some schools, some very smaller schools. Think about your Love 'em to Death, your Central Talbotton's down the road. Think about your even like a Manchester or Greenville up the road. They might not have the funds to be able to have all these angles and all these different things you're looking at. Whereas a Carver or a Northside or Harris County's got a brand new. I think they got a whole bunch of brand new things this year. Or an Auburn Opelika on my side of the river, where they have the wherewithal to do all that. So that's the replay part. The prep, we have in Alabama and Georgia too. Georgia has 6 officials on the field. We have 7 in Alabama usually on a given night. 2 guys, like you said, run the clock. So it's a 9-man crew out there, and we all have what we call keys. We're all looking at a certain place on the field, a certain player. As a referee, I'm looking at the quarterback. There's others that are looking just at certain people. And think about it. DJ, the game. There's only a certain number of guys that can touch the football on a given play, right? The linemen aren't going to touch the ball. So with those 7 guys, you should have every base covered because you're looking at one player that's eligible to get that football. So that's how we do it. And we have keys and cover it.
Dana Barker is our guest this morning on the Sportsvisions Morning Show. And Dana, when we talk about all of this, before we get into the heavy lifting, I think that first and foremost, why don't we share with the listening audience out there the qualifications and the credentials you have to be a certified official or a referee? Yeah. So I don't want to say anybody can do it, but you can sign up. We're doing that right now. We started meetings back at the end of June, so we're on, I think, meeting number 3 or 4 right now. We have meetings up until the first week of games, and that's coming quick. It's less than 4 weeks from now. So we have rules meetings. We meet at Opelika High School. There's associations in Columbus. There's one in LaGrange. There's one in Phoenix City. So we have different local associations. I'm president, last year as president of the one over in the Auburn Opelika area. So we meet over at Opelika High School every Monday. We just go over rules, things like that. There's a rules exam you have to take. It's not a secret. We help you out with it. You have to get a passing score to be able to be on the field, and then just learn the rules. You have rule books, and we call case books, where it has different situations, scenarios, and how you would call it. And we just learn the game that way. And we help you, we mentor you. The younger officials, we kind of bring people up with a more experienced guy, kind of pair them up, do a one-on-one type thing. And I always say it's exercise without knowing you're doing it. It's a lot of fun on Friday night, and we end up paying you at the end of the year. And it's nice, you go play Santa Claus. You get the money in December, and then you pass that off, and it's a nice way to make some money. Dana, what are the characteristics or the common denominators of officials? I know that some of our entrepreneurs, some work corporate jobs. I mean, what's kind of the common denominator between all you and your colleagues? The communication part's a big one. Being able to talk the game and know the game, love the game, and that servant's heart type thing. Wanting to give back. My personal story is that I was a nerd growing up. I missed the boat in terms of that. I didn't play any sport in high school, so I was kind of a late bloomer. So being able to give back to the kids and getting the athletic game, later on in life, that was my kind of driving force. And just being able to communicate. I'm blessed to be pretty decent at communicating. I do that in weather, and announcing for the hockey team and things like that. So being able to do that. Just kind of giving back and making sure that there's a fair game being called, like you said, call it tight and call it. I love that saying, DJ. I'm going to steal that saying, man. Call it tight and call it right. That's right.
So, Dana, next week we've got high school football media days for East Alabama. I received the email, and so I've got the schedule, and you're kicking things off Wednesday. They've got you, the Big East Officials Association president, speaking right at 9:00. What are you looking forward to most about addressing just everybody that's there for media day? And definitely, what is this as far as this kicking off the high school football season, especially how big media days has become?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I can do it because it's kind of outside y'all's footprint. Shout out to Van Riggs for organizing that over in the Auburn-Opelika area. It's actually the this will be the 4th year I've been doing it over there, and it's Wednesday week. It's the 30th at 9 Central, which is 10 o'clock on this side of the river, this side of the water. I just go in there and just kind of talk about what the rule changes are. We usually have big rule changes from year to year. This year is about fumbles and forward fumbles. You have to go back to the spot where you fumbled the football from. They try to, I always say high school tries to change rules in 2 different ways, either to make it like the college game on Saturdays, because not going to lie, we're fewer and fewer in number. So a lot of us call on Friday night and call on Saturday night. And we'll make sure we got kind of a close rule set, but not necessarily identical. And to minimize risk and keep the kids safe out there. This year is about fumbles. It's kind of mimics now what the college rules are, trying to get that in the line of what you're seeing on Saturday. So I talk about that and just talk about what our main goals are for the year. And the past few years, I think we haven't really had any major rule changes. So it's been around getting our officials to buy in on communicating and talking to players and coaches out there. Because we got a lot of old hats that don't want to, they think it's their way or the highway when they make a call. And I'm like, man, it's not that way anymore. We're a two-way society. You got to talk to those guys. You got to talk to those coaches out there, just kind of training them up. And the younger crowd too. The one thing I'll say too about the younger crowd is that, man, what do you do if you don't like something you hear when you're a younger crowd out there on social media? You're gonna block them. You're gonna ghost them. You're not gonna respond. You can't ghost a coach, man. You got a coach up in your face like this, wanting to know what the call is, man. You can't ghost them. You can't block them. They want to know what the call is. So that's one thing we're running into as well. The younger crowd doesn't know this interpersonal face-to-face communication, and that's one of the challenges that we have to overcome.
Dana, I noticed that there are more and more females getting involved with refereeing now, in particularly football. Expound a little bit on that.
Yeah. We try to get both sexes in there, and we actually have a few female officials over on our side of the river that have advanced pretty high. We got one that's actually now calling some D3 college football and advancing too. I don't know if necessarily a deliberate effort, but they also, think about it in your everyday life. Females are better at staying the course, being level-headed, not up, not down. So they have the skill set of being able to communicate. And, a lot of them are just as athletic as us, if not more so in a lot of cases. So, being able to have that out there, it's cool. And it's kind of fun watching how they interact with the players as well, because, they might talk to us differently than they talk to a female official out there, but it's in a good way. Having that out there, having them out there being able to communicate is kind of a good thing, and it's fun to watch that set expand out there.
Dana, I do want to talk about officials for multiple associations, because I know that you've been an official at the GHSA. You have officials in the GIAA, AISA, GAPS. When you have 2 teams that are in 2 different associations, like you have an Alabama school taking on a Georgia school, like what factors go into which officials are we going to use? It's basically for the home team, and some what are some of your staff? Are they doing in multiple organizations? Do you have officials that also officiate in the AISA as well?
Yeah, the AISA has a different set of officials than HSA does, public school does. Georgia's kind of the same thing as well, but we all officiate off the base National Federation rule set. There's some little nuances that GHSA does that AHSA doesn't do, and that GIAA does. But you should be able to hop in pretty interchangeably and officiate those games. It's based on, you touched on it, based on the home school. In Georgia, they're assigned out of the home office in Thomaston. They'll say, okay, Northside, you got the Columbus officials. Harris County, you got the LaGrange officials. In Alabama, and I've always, not really a fan of it, but it is what it is. We have to sell ourselves to schools and get contracts. What all that could bring. We don't do that. The Association of Phoenix City doesn't do that. We call a fair ball game, but we go to the ADs, we go to the coaches and say, hey, can we do your ball games for the next X number of years? And you sign a contract, and then we're your officials. But we still have to be fair as well, because we get scrutinized by the office in Montgomery as well, and have to call the right rule set and call a fair game.
Dana, let's peel back another layer, if you will, regarding conditioning and also again when you're talking about development in the off season and what's required of you guys prior to each and every season.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be out. You have to be kind of physical out there. You got to have endurance. I mean, think about these games in August. Man, you got to stay hydrated out there. If you don't, for a Friday night ball game, if you haven't started to hydrate on Thursday night when it's 90, 95, 100 degrees out there, man, you're going to be in trouble. Luckily we have heat timeouts now on both sides of the river, for those hotter games. But that's a big part of it in the early weeks is getting conditioning and just being used to the heat. You don't necessarily be a bodybuilder out there, but you got to be able to get around. The kids are getting fast. A buddy of mine, we had our meeting on Monday and then went out to eat dinner, and a buddy of mine had a great quote. He was like, man, these kids ain't getting no younger or ain't getting no older. we get a year older every year. The kids don't.
That's right.
Look at 14, 18-year-olds out there, and we're another year older when we come on back. So it's vital to be well conditioned. Like I said, you don't necessarily have to be a bodybuilder. You don't necessarily have to have a BMI of a single digit or anything like that. But being able to get around, you got to see what you're calling too. Like I said, those 7 guys have a certain position out there and a certain assignment. You got to be able to see that assignment correctly. Number 1, to make the right call. Number 2, it looks good out there. Number 3, if you're not in the right spot, that coach is going to eat you alive, and I'm going to let him if you're in the wrong spot, man. So you got to be able to get there. And, it's basically it. Conditioning on not only a mental but a physical standpoint is very important.
Dana Barker is our guest this morning on the Sportsvisions Morning Show. And Dana, as it pertains to versatility, I'm noticing that, it's not unusual to see a high school football referee calling a basketball game or even umpiring. What's your assessment of that?
Yeah, we got some, a lot of the guys that have more free time than I do that year round. I call them career officials. My whole thing when I started, I wanted to focus on one sport and be the best I could at that one sport at football and learn that rule set. But we've got guys that, turn around in the spring and call baseball. They start calling basketball and there's a little bit of overlap there even. Playoffs and football are going on, and then, your basketball season, you got your tip-offs, you got your tournaments there. So, yeah, it could be a year-round thing. And some people who are retired or, aren't working full-time jobs, you could almost make a living for yourself officiating from season to season to season. We have a few people that do that. Is it for me? No, not really, but it is out there, and you can do that. And then it gives you more of a chance too if you want to advance. If you want to advance in baseball and be an umpire, eventually in the, in major leagues or in college ball, it gives you more opportunity to be that versatile official there. I don't know if I could do it justice with everything else I'm doing to go and call a baseball in the spring or anything like that. But some people do it, and a lot of people do it pretty successfully.
Dana, with all the duties and responsibilities that you have, and especially when we get to high school football season, we've got Thursday night games, Friday night games, Saturday afternoon games. What goes into who calls what? And typically on your Friday nights, do you know ahead of time, like what game are you going to call? And do you occasionally call Thursday night and Saturday afternoon games as well?
Yeah. Some areas of the state here, out of necessity, we've had to have schools call on Thursday nights just to have enough officials for a ball game. I hate doing that. Some of our officials think that it's just something that we can just call a school and be like, hey, play on Thursday. That's my absolute, in case of fire, break glass, last resort. I don't think people really understand what all goes in logistics of having to move a ball game. You got to talk to the other school. You got your bands, you got your parents, you got your concessions. You got everything from soup to nuts. You got to move over one day. So we do that as a last resort. As far as picking the ball games, man, I'm telling you, this is my last year doing, being the president of the association. Brother, if you could make a reality show out of high school football officials, some of these guys, man, it would be a better reality show than Love Island. Some of these guys are like, hey, I want to call this ball game. I was thinking about what I was going to say last night. DJ, we're both Columbus boys. You're ODH and I'm Shaw U, man.
Yes.
Back. So we have Auburn Opelika, and we got those 7A ball games, and it's like those days back when Wallace Davis was coaching Carver, and every game was a big game when you played, and back in 07 when Del McGee was coaching.
Yeah.
Back when, at Shaw, when Coach Flowers was there and they had Bergeron and Ant Mayer, Dame Daniels and all them.
Yeah.
Every night is like that in these 7A ball games, man. It's like, I call it the little SEC because you got so many damn eyeballs on these games. So you want to put the best officials out there. So, and really it's kind of an inverse type thing because you want to put your best officials on the biggest ball games, but at the same time, the most screwy stuff's going to happen in a smaller 1A or 2A ball game because these 6A and 7A guys, they know what to do. And I mean 2A like Carver. I mean 2A like very, very small schools.
Right.
Because counties like that just by the nature of it and because that's how they are. But I mean, these very small schools with very small populations where some of the kids play both ways.
Yeah.
Some of the kids are doing this with their helmets when they come off the field and giving the helmet to the next kid and use on the field. That kind of stuff, man. Those schools are the ones where you're going to have, if they, they might jump off sides every time, or you might have, squirrely stuff happen. It's going to happen in your smaller ball games. It ain't going to happen in your 7A marquee matchups, but you got more eyeballs on that game. So the risk is higher in those ball games to have the best officials possible out there. It's tough, man. The scheduling. And like I said, 50, 60 personalities out there that want to call the big game, and you only got so many big games to go around. Yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenge out there, and we've got a good handful that are worthy of calling those big games, and it's just kind of a balance to do that from year to year.
Dana, when you're having a good time, you know what? Time flies, man. But I got to ask you these. We got a few minutes left, but if you could give in an executive summary, can you talk about the levels? How you call high school football, but what would it take to be called college football, and what would it take to go beyond that and call professional football? And if you would, in a range, kind of give us an idea so that these folks out there are saying, hey, I want to call games, but you know what? They might do it for the money. They might not be doing it for the money, but they at least give them some kind of range, cash range, so that they will know whether it's something they want to do or not.
Yeah, I mean, this is public stuff. I'll talk about that first. In Georgia, you make $128 per ball game. In Alabama, a 5-man crew makes $120, a 7-man crew makes $110. That'll be reviewed next year for maybe a possible raise there. And sub-varsity makes a little bit less than that. The games on weekdays, the younger kids, the 7th, 8th grade freshman JV games, it can be pretty lucrative. You can make a couple of grand every year. There's a little bit of upfront cost to get the uniform, take the exams, get the memberships, but it's a pretty good investment. It's an investment in a lot of friends. You're in a brotherhood, and you make a lot of friends doing that as well. But I would say check out, HSA.com, GHSA.com. There's official sites on there to become an official. And, give me a shout as well. Talk to DJ and talk to Richard and talk to me as well. We're always looking for new officials. So it's a great, rewarding experience, and you'll definitely enjoy it. We always preach to have new people out there and get some new blood in there.
As quickly as you can, the different levels. Again, what is the commitment? What is the credentials or qualifications?
Yeah, my apologies for that, DJ. So, for high school, just pass an exam, being in a season. We have guys in our associations that have called the college games. We can get you in touch. It's kind of a who you know thing. There's different coordinators of officials that come to camps, or they sometimes call the bigger high school games that want to look at officials to jump to the higher step. Usually, you're calling like you're not your FBS, but you're not your Power 4 games, but you're smaller. You're not D1 schools, and you kind of work your way up to D1, and you can work your way up to the pros as well. It's kind of a ladder, kind of a process there. But there's fewer and fewer of us, so there's more opportunity to advance faster for sure.
Wonderful, man. Hey, you do a tremendous job. You're a tremendous role model because obviously, you're a Swiss Army knife, as we like to say, meteorologist, IT guy, referee, and a father. That's I'm sure that's one of the most important titles.
Absolutely is. Yeah, I bring my son to ball games. He has a blast, and having my little mini-me by there by my side, you can't put a price on that. I appreciate it. Thanks for the kind words, DJ.
Dana, we thank you so much, man, and have a great rest of your morning.
All right, thanks for the invite, guys. Love y'all. Y'all do a hell of a show, and we'll be talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dana.
That's the great Dana Barker.
He's
been around, man, and this guy is he's a man's man. I mean, again, he's the guy, but I kind of found it ironic that he was a nerd. I mean, I would have thought that this guy had been, but hey, what? Late bloomers, there is time for you too.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's go ahead and take a break. You're watching Facebook Live and you're listening to WLTC HD2, Sports Visions 921. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
When the moody, little cutie, looking like a student, long hair with your big fat booty.
You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband. He lost weight. More important, cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend went, and she lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months. So does Mark Patrick hypnosis work? Oh yeah, it works. Nothing has changed my life more. Well, except maybe my husband. He's so proud of me. Makes me cry.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick's seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. That's right. Weight loss seminar Wednesday, July 23rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites at North Lake in Columbus at 5:30 p.m. Registration starts at 5 p.m. Stop smoking seminars at 8 p.m. with registration at 7:30 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Provide a Fest Indie Music and Arts Festival is Saturday, August 16th at Woodruff Park in Uptown from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. Rock out to live local artists, play fun field day games, enjoy delicious food trucks, and explore tons of cool vendors. General admission is just $30, but students score entry for only $20 with code STUDENT2025. You got friends? Groups of 3 or more pay just $15 per ticket. Grab yours now at provideafest.com. Provide a Fest, the perfect way to wrap up your summer with good vibes, great music, and unforgettable memories.
Join Mark Patrick's seminars and lose the weight guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Seminars Wednesday, July 23rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites at North Lake in Columbus. Weight loss seminar starts at 5:30 p.m. with registration starting at 5 p.m. Stop smoking seminar starts at 8 p.m. with registration at 7:30 p.m.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Did you serve in the military? If so, you can obtain a free lifetime pass to more than 2,000 federal recreation sites, including national parks, wildlife refuges, and forests. Getting a pass is easy. Just go to the National Park Service website, nps.gov, or the National Park Service app.
The YMCA is just a starting line, for the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick below the surface. Y is the before work hustle, an after school home, a section of my block, a corner to call my own. With my Y, I stand strong, seen and supported all along. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your Y. Join today at ymca.org for a better us.
Man, I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, you know? I wanted to get back in the game, so I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students, and I get paid to make the big calls. Do you want to see the game up close? Sign up to become an official in Alabama at highschoolofficials.com.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1. If it's local, it's on the Sports Visions Morning Show with former Georgia Bulldog DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
I got my peaches out in
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones, Richard Holdridge. The Thrifter is on a cruise heading somewhere in the, is it the Gulf Coast? Is he in the Gulf of Mexico?
It's going to be like in the Gulf of Mexico.
Gulf of Mexico. He's, with a little umbrella drink sitting on the deck there with he and his family. Man, I tell you, it was great. Hey, man, listen, that was a great interview, great informative interview by Dana Burrows, man. He's just the best. I love talking to him, and I love the fact that he's always in teaching mode.
Yes.
I mean, the guy does so many different things. The guy's damn near brilliant. But for him to be able to break down what it is to be, or what it takes to be a high school football official, especially, we're just a few weeks from high school football season kicking off. And for those people that all they do is give those referees hell, now you get more of an appreciation of what these guys do, what they mean to the game. And I appreciate Dana for explaining that.
Yes, and that great interview that we had last hour with Dana Barca can be found on the Sports Visions Facebook page and YouTube channel, also on the Sports Visions radio app, and you can listen to the interview commercial-free on Apple and Spotify.
Richard, you do a great job on that Spotify stuff. Can you explain that? I know this is off the script, but the Spotify deal, I know for the folks that are listening out there, maybe there's some that don't know what Spotify is. Can you explain what that platform is and how you can benefit from listening to interviews?
Absolutely. So if you have an iPhone, obviously Spotify will work on Android and iPhone. If you have an iPhone, Apple Podcast is one. There's other podcast platforms. People like listening to podcasts where they could download it, and like if they don't have really good cell phone service, they can still listen to the podcast because people like listening to it later. So Spotify, even though they play music, they also have a platform where you can record podcasts, upload it, and it plays on Spotify, and this goes out nationally. I was actually looking at the metrics. I mean, we got people from all over the world listening to Sports Visions, and I started getting good with this when I started my podcast. I put it on Apple and Spotify, so that's why that we're able to have that as well, because I know the steps and what it takes to take that audio file and put it out on, it's called Spotify for podcasters. Once you upload it in there, all you got to do is copy the RSS feed and it will go to another podcasting platform. Just the other day, DJ, I said, Alexa, play the Sports Visions Morning Show. Lo and behold, it played the Sports Visions Morning Show, because also Amazon Music is another podcasting platform.
All right. Hey, Richard, you use the podcast word, or the P word, as I call it. You used it probably about a dozen times in the last 45 seconds. For the folks that are listening out there, can you explain exactly what a podcast is? Because again, a radio show, a podcast, a television broadcast, give us the understanding.
So we have radio shows. Podcasts are, you don't need a radio station or you don't need a platform to have a podcast. Anybody can do a podcast. I learned this 5 years ago when I started the Sports Beat. I knew that I wanted to talk about sports and I wanted that platform, and I didn't care who was listening. I just wanted to get my voice heard, and it also gave me the experience just to get comfortable talking about sports. And also I got really good with editing audio clips. So yeah, you have what was called the podcast. You have a radio show, but you also have a podcast platform where you could take that radio show and put it on there. So they're kind of interchangeable. But yeah, the word podcast, anybody could do a podcast. And we've seen millions of podcasts out there, people that want to get their voice heard. And it's about marketing. It's about distribution. And it's about just getting yourself out there. And like Josh Pate said, what he has said it best.
Now,
does anybody have anything interesting? Do you have something interesting that people want to hear?
Now, you threw that name out, but you didn't give him an introduction.
Oh, Josh Pate.
You got to let people know so they can understand who you're referencing.
So Josh Pate right now is a national college football host at CBS Sports. He started here in Columbus. I think back in 2011, 2012. He was on a radio show. It went over. He was a sports anchor, news anchor at WLTZ. He actually wanted to do a platform where he was just talking about college football. He used to do Football Nightly Down South with Jonathan Rivers on the CW. And then he started his Late Kick podcast right here in Columbus. It started getting notoriety. He was going to games. He was able to get press credentials. So in 2020, 24/7 Sports up in Nashville picked him up, and he started doing his Late Kick podcast up in Nashville. And now he is becoming just a national brand. People, when they think of college football, they think of Josh Pate, but he got his start here. And I had the privilege of finally meeting him for the first time a week ago. And then, of course, shook his hand at SEC Media Days. And, we did that interview that Thrift did with, and we actually uploaded that interview on the Sports Visions Facebook page. If you want to just catch just the interview, it was fantastic. I took a lot of pride in that. Josh had just great things to say, and he talks about his upbringing in Columbus and how he made it to where he is today.
One thing that you might say, Pate, if you know Josh from his days here on television doing sports with WXTX, also of course, his dad was a legendary Pop Warner football coach. Yes. And Coach Pate coached at South Columbus. He coached at Edgewood. He, of course, we lost my great high school, or at least my Pop Warner football coach Tommy Drew, we buried him last week, and but Josh or Coach Pate and Coach Drew were two of the top names that go way back. They touched a lot of lives, and again, you can see he's a chip off the old block.
Yeah, I've gotten to know his dad, Dan, of the last couple of years. A great guy. Yeah, it's funny. I didn't even know that about coaching until you mentioned it when Gary Ingram was on, and that was one of his coaches. But yeah, just he's done a great job raising his kids, and it's just it goes to show you put the time and effort into touching kids' lives. It's going to make a difference, and it's really made a difference. And I just appreciate Dan Pate and the impact he had on this community.
706-324-1420 is the number to call if you want to chime in this morning. Good morning, Stanley. Big shout out to my man, Stanley Crowell. He's always on the scene. And, of course, he says good morning and welcome to Friday. TGIF, he's so glad he made it in spite of it all. He educate him, enlighten him, and as well entertain him. He understands. He knows the assignment. He thinks it's a great show, and he says keep up the great work. We appreciate you, and you are a great person that follows us. Sandra Vet Shelton, good morning. She's consistent as well, and was glad that they're up this morning. And I'm sure there's a slew of other folks that just don't feel like calling in or chiming in on the chat right now, and they're just enjoying listening. But I was in the hardware store the other day and looking for some items to do some things around the house. And I was just the crew, the guys that were hanging out in the back that worked and assist us at the shop. They were like, man, I love listening to it. Those guys have to check in early in the morning. So I appreciate it. So big shout out to all you guys out there at the hardware store. That's Ace right there on St. Mary's Road, the corner of St. Mary's and of course, North Oakley. Obviously, there's a service station right there. But right next to that Shell service station is Ace Hardware. And I want to say shout out to the crew over there. And appreciate you listening. And make sure that you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that the Sportsvisions Morning Show is on the air now. Richard, I know that with Georgia Alabama Sports Live, you and Thrift both have been doing a series this summer with, of course, the state of the athletic director, or at least whatever you call it. But you're talking to the athletic directors at the different schools that you guys are going to be covering, this year.
Yeah, it's called State of the Program, Sitting with an Athletic Director, State of the Program. And yesterday, Troup County, Coach Tanner Glisson actually filled in for the athletic director. Sometimes we have assistant ADs on talking about the state of the program for Troup County. And it's been a great time to be a Troup County Tiger. And you can catch that interview. And he goes into the baseball championship and goes into, the football team. And it's just excited about this upcoming season. And we do have several schools on the horizon. With Thrift being gone for a week, I might be in contact with him. I might have to knock out some of these schools.
It's not might. You are going to knock them out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm going to try to
I thought I heard him say to you that he wanted you to knock out some.
Exactly. I'll probably reach out to Coach Danielle McCoy over at Columbus. I did the interview last year. And maybe Shaw does not have an athletic director yet, but I know they have an assistant athletic director in Vivian Special. And we still got to do Carver, Central. So there's still some schools that we've got left for our series that's been widely entertaining, informative. And I do want to plug one thing we did this summer. There is a podcast that we introduced that aired a couple of days ago called Sideline Stories with Kim and Kelly. That's a hit. It is taken off, and I cannot wait until the second episode.
Two wonderful young ladies, obviously, Kim and Kelly. Kelly is just the award-winning. I say award-winning. She is an award-winning state championship coach. Of course, just was promoted as the AD at Hardaway. Her sister, Kim, is also a very, very accomplished coach. And I can imagine they have personalities. Their mom is a brilliant young lady. And, of course, I don't see they're both chips off the old block.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm eager to see that show. Where can we find it?
You could find it on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Facebook page and YouTube channel. We aired episode 1 Wednesday night, and it is funny. It's informative. They talk about their childhood playing basketball, and you got I call them Kelly and Kim now because you say Coach Ellison, they both will turn and look at you. So, but it is just widely entertaining. And they've got some funny stories too. I had a blast helping produce it along with Thrift and Chris. We just did a great job, and we cannot wait for that second episode.
You also have a show that you produced that is getting a lot of acclaim.
Yes.
You got a couple of great guys. Why don't you introduce that show as well?
All right, so it's called Step Up, Make a Difference with Marty Durden, who was a longtime coach here at Calvary. He's actually moved up to Cartersville, and Mike Peacock, my broadcasting colleague at Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And DJ, I heard that you might be a guest on a future episode. I'm looking forward to that episode when it comes out.
Hell, you don't have to guess. You know what it is.
No, I know when it's happening. I just wanted to keep the audience informed, intrigued.
Go ahead and tell them, because the people are, if they're going to make plans, they're going to make plans now.
Absolutely.
And I got the call from Marty, last week and earlier in this week. Matter of fact, it's an honor to be on that show. I have such a great deal of respect for both Marty and Mike. And bottom line is, we're going to take this show at some point in time, and it'll air Sunday.
Yeah, we're going to pre-record it Sunday afternoon. The Step Up podcast airs every Sunday night on Georgia Alabama Sports Live's Facebook page and YouTube channel at 7 o'clock. So if you want to hear DJ Jones on the Step Up podcast, it's going to be this Sunday.
So again, that process, you said that you take the show on Sunday, and you air it.
Or anytime. Yeah, we'll pre-record it, and we can pre-record it anytime.
So anytime is running out of time. It's Friday right now. So because again, I know that Marty and of course Mike, they have things to do on the weekend. So again, I have you're the producer, so you organize everything.
We usually will record it Sunday afternoon.
So
then that gives me enough time to edit it, put the intro music and making sure that actually goes on the platform, and it will air live at 7 o'clock.
So again, in recording the show on Sunday afternoon, that hadn't caused any issues, any problems?
No issues at all. I mean, it's hard to do a show live at 7 o'clock, especially when we all have conflicting schedules. But I'm in the group text with Marty and Mike just to make sure they're available, and we come up with the time. I kind of give like a general time frame. We usually pre-record from around 1 to 5. It's like, okay, if everybody's available at 3:30, let's just pre-record at 3:30. We just all have to be on the same page. But I'm pretty flexible with my schedule. That way we can do pre-record it and get it ready.
Let's spend a little time talking about these guys. Obviously, I know you made mention to Mike being, of course, a broadcasting colleague of yours, but Marty is a very accomplished coach and servant leader. Mike is, again, he's a former SID guy with Columbus State University. Very, very experienced in communications in that field. But again, that show, when you're talking about, as you explaining that particular show as you did Kelly and Kim, why don't you give the folks out there a brief preview of that?
So this is a show that is faith-based. They have different coaches on, and you talk about just stepping up and making a difference. At the title of the podcast, these coaches that have this influence in these kids' lives. And, Coach Marty Durden, who's been a longtime coach here, I mean, he has got this curriculum that, and I can't remember the name. I know Thrift, if Thrift was here, he could tell me what it is. But this is something that is a standard when it comes to coaching the right way. And of course, he's got a very good relationship with Mike Peacock from their time at Calvary Christian. Mike Peacock, I mean, what can you say about him? SID at CSU. He has been a broadcaster for the Super 7 in Alabama. And we are just blessed that Marty and Mike are part of the Georgia Alabama Sports Live family. We definitely want to, I know with Marty up in Cartersville, we can't get him in the studio, but we do the podcast virtually. And I've really had a fun time being the producer of that, and it's very informative. We've had some great guests, and I'm looking forward to Sunday night's episode.
Tell you what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to this next break, but coming back, talking about your experiences as a producer, as an on-air talent, and all the wonderful things that you're starting to do with regards to signing autographs and taking selfies in the mall. Hey, you're watching Facebook Live, and you're listening to WLTC Sports Visions 92.1. We are your hometown sports guys.
I can't wait till I get you on.
This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Let's do this.
Sports Visions 92.1.
Good morning, I'm Rex Castillo. Here's a look at your morning headlines. 41-year-old Aaron Williams is the Auburn man now charged with capital murder and kidnapping following the shooting deaths of his wife and her teenage daughter. He was extradited from Tennessee and is now being held without bond in a Lee County jail. According to new records, the gun used in the killings, based on forensics, was found in Williams' possession, and he was captured in Tennessee. Williams is now facing 4 counts of capital murder and 1 count of kidnapping. Meanwhile, 52-year-old Cesar Campos Reyes is expected to appear in court at 11 a.m. Central Time. He's accused of defrauding COVID relief programs and misusing more than $225,000 in funds intended to help small businesses survive the pandemic. He turned himself into authorities late Tuesday. That followed a day of raids on multiple businesses in the Auburn-Opelika area by federal agents. Campos Reyes has been indicted by a federal grand jury. From WRBL News 3, I'm Rex Castillo. Have a great rest of your day.
Good Friday morning. We're off to a muggy and partly cloudy start. Those temperatures in the mid-70s, and expect a similar forecast this afternoon like we experienced yesterday. Highs reach the mid to low 90s before isolated showers and storms cool us off, all associated with that tropical moisture. And heading into the weekend, rain chances back off with that heat building in the forecast. Those highs likely to reach upper 90s in some spots. Heat and humidity staying in that extended forecast. The dog days of summer are here.
Hi, it's Steve Mann. Have you heard the commercials for the Mark Patrick Stop Smoking seminars? And they said only $49.99 and it could work for you. So I thought, that's not even a week's worth of smoking. So I went. And guess what? It did work for me. You know, my friends and family are still amazed. I quit smoking. I didn't have cravings, anxiety, or weight gain. Listen, I don't know how it works, but I know it works because I'm living proof, and it's 100% guaranteed. So what do you got to lose? I'll tell you what you got to lose. A very bad habit.
Join Mark Patrick's seminars and stop smoking now. Without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Early bird special only $49.99 guaranteed. Hypnosis designed to work without anxiety, irritability, or weight gain. Early bird special only $49.99. Become a non-smoker. That's right. Seminar Wednesday, July 23rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites at Northlake in Columbus. Stop smoking seminars at 8 p.m. Weight loss seminars at 5:30 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
AutoNation's Columbus, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram. We believe in giving people a break. Like $16,000 off a 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie Crew Cab 4x4. Or $21,000 off a 2024 Dodge Charger Daytona Scat Pack all-wheel drive. And if credit's been a struggle, don't stress. We've helped folks with no credit, bad credit, even bankruptcies. We're here to help, not judge. Looking for a solid used ride? We've got thousands at AutoNation's Columbus, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. And with 2 locations in Columbus, we're closer than you think. Come see us. We'll treat you right.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
Attorney advertising. Georgia. Attorney 770 Good Law Car Accident Lawyers. Paid after dramatization. Top dog does not mean we are the best. No guarantees of success.
If you don't stop playing, that dog ain't playing. If you don't get that dog what he want, I'm telling you he's gonna bite you. Just give him what he want. Don't go back and forth with him. Just give him what he want. Oh, now you done did it. The dog's starting to walk around in circles. When he get ready to do that, he's getting ready to bite you. He ain't chasing his tail. He's getting ready to bite you. Oh no, he's biting you. Top dog, chill. Let him go. You gotta chill. You gonna hurt him. Go and kill him. Just give him what he want. You give him what he want, he'll let you go. Just give him what he want. See how easy it was. That's all you had to do. Just had to give him what he want. He would have been let you go. Now you hurt. They didn't have to be this way. All that money your insurance company made. I know Top Dog wanted a lot, but all you had to do is just give it to him. Any accident, Top Dog Law.
You're waking up with the Sportsvisions Morning Show on Sportsvisions 92.1. Now back to former Green Bay Packer DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Welcome back to the Sportsvisions Morning Show. DJ Jones, Richard Holdridge in the building. Good Friday afternoon. It's Flashback Friday, and of course, as we go into the weekend, Richard, I just obviously want to take an opportunity to flash back into your pride, to your life with regards to, of course, taking on these great challenges. You are a producer, you're an on-air, talent. You're a PA announcer, you're a play-by-play announcer. What is it that you don't do?
Well, I appreciate that, DJ. I do want to take it back to 2015 when I first moved to Columbus, Georgia. It was kind of by accident. I'm in the National Guard. People know me.
Thank you for your service.
I appreciate that, DJ. I was living up in the Metro Atlanta area, working out of Dobbins Air Base, and in the National Guard, we have what's called, a PCS move too throughout the state. I could have went to Savannah. I could have went to Macon. I could have went to Augusta, but there was a job opening in Columbus, and it's not one of those like, oh, I want to go to Columbus. They told me you're going to Columbus. So by accident, I moved my family to Columbus.
By accident.
Well, here's the thing. I was living up in Atlanta, but it was a blessing that I do not regret that move. I am so happy I've been in Columbus the past 10 years, but I didn't know anything about Columbus, Georgia from Atlanta. I know that Fort Benning's there, but there's other parts of the state that they could have moved me to. And everything happens for a reason. I think that it was a move where I felt like it needed to get done. And I actually didn't get into broadcasting until about 2020, like starting to actively pursue, I want to be on the radio and do sports talk radio. I want to start a podcast and talk sports. And then eventually doing other things like calling games, public address announcing, which I started back in 2021. It led to doing play-by-play for high school football. It also led to, doing play-by-play for the indoor soccer team that was briefly here for 2 years. And then, of course, meeting Thrift and being a part of Georgia Alabama Sports Live the last 2 years. It's truly been a blessing. And, meeting you 3 years ago has also been a blessing. And I'm enjoying the ride. It is one of those things I don't take for granted, but I also know that talent has always been there since college. I just had some things that happened in life, deployed twice, had a family, and a lot of those things were kept on the back burner. But, that passion for sports was always there, and I just had the opportunity at the right place at the right time.
Well, you've certainly taken advantage of your opportunities, and you're quite a talent. You're definitely a guy that has been, you've earned everything that you have gotten here, as far as I'm concerned. In fact, again, having the opportunity to be a part of Sports Visions, and again, Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Richard, I know. Tell me a little bit more about that podcast that I had, because I think it was a radio station up in Noonan or Griffin.
So and I still periodically do it, but not as much. It's called the Sports Beat with Richard Holdridge. I started it in January of 2020 because a college buddy of mine had a podcast talking about the Tennessee Titans, because he lives in Nashville. And he had me as a guest on his podcast because he knew that I was a San Francisco 49ers fan, and I was previewing the upcoming Super Bowl between the 49ers and the Chiefs. And of course, this was all before the pandemic. This was in January of 2020. No one knew what was going on that would completely change the course in the world of sports. So I started my podcast because, he actually showed me how to do a podcast. And then I also had an opportunity to get on sports talk radio as a guest. And I just wanted to do the podcast just to hone my craft, to get more experience talking sports on the radio. I've had guests on my podcast, and then, the pandemic happened, and, you're still having a podcast. You're still talking about sports, obviously just talked about The Last Dance, because that was an event every time that came out. And, not having sports for 2 months. I mean, that was just tough for the average sports fan. Of course, 2021 rolls around, and, obviously I'm building my podcast and getting some notoriety. I start, actually focusing on high school football, because now in the fall of 2021, I got offered the public address announcing position for Russell County. And I give credit to the former Columbus Lions head coach, Jason Gibson, who knew that I was in broadcasting, that offered me the play-by-play announcer position for the Columbus Rapids. So doing PA announcing for Russell County, Columbus Rapids, the station manager up in Noonan, who they had the River Dragons on their station. He wanted to get the Rapids. He knew that I was the voice of the Rapids and that I also had a podcast. And he actually offered me a spot on his station. And actually, we had the afternoon drive. It was my show, and it was only 30 minutes. And then Bryce Kuhn, who's also a local product from Columbus, was also on that station. And that was going on for about 3 years. That half hour later turned to an hour, and I was on the radio station up in Noonan for 3 years. And now, as much as I love doing the podcast, but I'm not pumping out these episodes every day because it's not on the radio station anymore. And so I periodically do it just because, I still want to get that itch to talk about sports.
Wonderful, wonderful. We'll have an opportunity to unpack a little bit more of that a little bit later in the show. We got Drew Pavan coming up in just a little bit. We're going to go ahead and take another break. You are watching Facebook Live and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. We are your hometown sports guys.
You are listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1.
Lori's Furniture Express, your express way to save.
It's summertime, and that means it's time for cookouts and company, relaxing outside. So that means it's time for you to pay a visit to Gory's luxurious outdoor patio. Shop their beautiful outdoor furniture that's made to last season after season. Sofas, love seats, and even outdoor recliners. And that's only at Gory's Furniture, Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams July Summer Sale and get 30% off paints and stains July 18th through the 28th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your interior or exterior, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store or shop the sale online. Delivery available on qualifying orders. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Then here's a great idea. Donate your car and help veterans and their families. Yes, one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program and we'll come and remove your car for free. Fast, free towing, and 24-hour response. You can donate most cars, trucks, or SUVs in most conditions. The proceeds raised goes to help active military, veterans, and their families, and you get a tax deduction. All you need to do is make this free call. Get rid of that old car and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now and book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Donation Program now. Donate your car and help veterans and their families. Operators are standing by. Here's the number.
800-890-7021. 800-890-7021. 800-890-7021. That's 800-890-7021.
Join Mark Patrick's seminars and lose the weight guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Seminars Wednesday, July 23rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites at Northlake in Columbus. Weight loss seminar starts at 5:30 p.m. with registration starting at 5 p.m. Stop smoking seminar starts at 8 p.m. with registration at 7:30 p.m.
Lori's Furniture Express, your express way to save.
It's summertime, and that means it's time for cookouts and company, relaxing outside. So that means it's time for you to pay a visit to Gory's luxurious outdoor patio. Shop their beautiful outdoor furniture that's made to last season after season. Sofas, love seats, and even outdoor recliners. And that's only at Gory's Furniture, Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your priceless vinyl collection. Sure, you sleep on a futon because the money most people would have spent on a bed you spent on more records. But forget the fact that you can stream just about any song ever created for a few dollars a month. No, you need to listen to music in the most difficult way possible. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The only live and local sports morning show. It's the Sports Visions Morning Show with Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Famer DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer on Sports Visions 92.1.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones and Richard Holdridge in the building. TGIF, it's Friday, y'all. It's the weekend, baby. What you got playing, Rich?
Well, I am actually going out of town with my family. and I'll be back in town late Monday night. That's why we got a best of show on Monday, but I'm looking forward to being back in the studio with you on Tuesday.
Good deal. Good deal. Without further ado, let's go ahead and bring him up. He is the WTVM sports anchor reporter, and he's a damn good one, and he stands 6'6", and of course he's a shooting guard from the University of Alabama, Drew Pavan. Drew, good morning, and welcome to the Sportsvisions Morning Show, my friend. How are you?
Morning, guys. How are we?
Good deal. Good deal. I don't shame you when I call you, when I introduce you as a 6'6" shooting guard from the University of Alabama, do I?
Take it as a compliment, DJ, because I don't got a jump shot, but hey, I'm a power forward. I'm gonna give you 12 boards a game. I'm gonna give you 6 points because I'm just gonna work it down there in the posts, and I'll average 3 blocks. But shooting guard, I don't know about that. I don't have the greatest jump shot in the world.
All right, I love it. I love it. Hey, man, listen, you had a big weekend, or at least a big week going up to Atlanta. You and Tony, man, you guys did a hell of a job. I don't want you to unpack some of that for everybody that's listening out there, and let us know and share that information on how you guys got it done.
Yeah, man, it was great scheduling by Tony and Jeremy Hayes and our whole team up there. We sent a crew of 4 up to the SEC Media Days. Tuesday was jam-packed. I'll tell you what, not many news stations at SEC Media Days has to cover 2 teams like Georgia and Auburn. And it's not an easy thing to do. This is my first year doing it. Usually just covered Alabama before, but having Georgia and Auburn, it's a different kind of animal. And we were streaming. We were live streaming on our morning anchor Ben Stanfield. We kind of flipped that into a SEC morning live show from 3 to 12, and I was on there just talking to him. We brought some guests on. We were able to take some press conferences live, and it was great. So that was fun doing that, getting to talk to some players, and it's great to hear and see from old friends and old colleagues and peers while you're there, because you haven't seen them in a few months from either baseball ending or some people you haven't seen since basketball, and then there's the few that you haven't seen in a few years because they left the area or you went to college with, whatever it may be. So it's always a great event, great scheduling. And it's always great to chop it up with the teams and kind of figure out what's going on before the fall hits. And by now, after sitting through SEC Media Days and it wrapped up yesterday, I'm ready to get on a sideline. That's for sure.
Drew, with you and Tony being big Beyonce fans, and you have the home run derby, the All-Star game, and all the things they had at SEC Media Days, how are you able to balance all of it? It seemed like it all just happened all at once on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, just scheduling, just making sure, we're staying focused. I don't want to sound like a football coach, but because every time I interview one, they say, we're just keeping, the main thing. And that's exactly what we did. You got to take priority to some stuff and make sure your content's coming out the way it should be, and making sure you're getting everything organized and ready to go, and using all the resources that we have. And WTVM has blessed us, me and Tony, with all these opportunities to cover so many great events. And it hasn't even been a year here, and the opportunities I've gotten has been great. It's all just about scheduling and knowing what you're able to do, especially with so many events going on over the past weekend. You're getting help from other people, and our parent company, Gray Media, has been easily one of the best companies out there and it's been the first company that hired me, and they've been great because we have so many resources. And that's the great part with the station in Atlanta and stations all over Georgia and Alabama. We get help from every other way, and being in the SEC Media Days, it really allowed us to concentrate on that. And we had options to go to the All-Star game from all the weekend. We got to what we could, but I was happy with what we got done. I felt accomplished. We got a lot done in one day on Tuesday, that's for sure. Dealing with those 2 teams and going live probably 6 or 7 times. It was a good experience, and I'm glad we got it done because I'm pretty proud of it.
Drew, I tell you, man, your first time covering the SEC Media Days for WTVM, was that your first Media Day experience?
Yeah, actually, I was talking to Richard and Thrift about it while we were up there. It was my first time actually there. At my prior station, we had a 30-minute live Alabama show every Tuesday, and I was the main producer and fill-in anchor for it, with Gary Harris, longtime radio and sports director in Tuscaloosa, and I was his producer for 3 years up there. And every year, that show is on it every day, every week for 52 weeks a year. It's on a Tuesday. For some reason, all 3 years prior, Alabama was talking on a Tuesday. And I had to make sure with all that content coming in, that was like 25 minutes of content that I was shuffling through when I stepped into work at 12 o'clock that day to make sure the show was straight. So, and it's funny, I actually saw my old sports producer and one of my mentors, Stu McCann, who's been great. He's been around the state of Alabama as a photog and sports reporter for a long time. And I asked him, I was like, "Can you believe this is the first one I'm at?" And he was like, he's like, "I never let you go." And I was like, I always had to produce Tighter and Cider. I'm like, I never had the chance to go. So it was cool to be there. I mean, I knew how it worked because you get the inside track on so many friends, and you know the plan and you know the scheduling. Wasn't really taken back by it. I'm cool under pressure. So
Yeah.
it's just fun to be there, see a lot of my peers.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Obviously, was it all that and a bag of chips? But you had prior, experiences with your friends and buddies and all. But yeah, it is one of the biggest spectacles in college. Football, man. I mean, it's the real deal. And I know with it being over near you in Tuscaloosa, in Hoover, I think it was a couple of years over there with that. But I've been to a lot of them. But I tell you what, I enjoy the one in Atlanta because, again, of the where it is, downtown Atlanta, with everything there. It's right there, the College Football Hall of Fame hotel right there connected. I know that the Winfrey Hotel over in Hoover might not have been, I guess, big enough as we've gone with the networks of the SEC network and all the stuff that Disney does with in conjunction with that. They needed a bigger space.
Yeah, no, they did. And people were mad when they left Hoover. I think that was just, I guess I was in Alabama, so obviously I'm going to hear everybody being mad about that, and that's rightfully so. People were a little disappointed with the crowd that came out compared to the last time it was in Atlanta, that it was packed out, and people were worried that, there wasn't a lot of people there, like especially that walk into the Hall of Fame. And I guess I was taken back a little bit by that. I mean, media wise, it's jam packed, but from fans wise, I guess it's not easy. And knowing what was going on in Atlanta that weekend, I don't blame people for not wanting to drive to the College Football Hall of Fame, because it's going to take you double the time with the All-Star Game, Beyonce, WWE events. God knows what else was going on. There was a million other things, but I think that was a big thing. Was people were like, well, we lose that crowd, because Hoover was talked about for years about just how jam packed it was, but they need the bigger space, and it's rightfully so, because media is expanding, especially writers and radio and podcasts and TV. It just seems like it's getting bigger every year. I mean, Dallas last year, Nashville the year before that. They haven't announced where they're going next year. I hope it's Nashville. That's just me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just something about Broadway doing it at Bridgestone Arena again would be cool. But we'll see where they're going to do it again. I don't know if they'll make it back to Hoover, though.
Drew, you and Tony were constantly busy doing hits just outside of what we would call our electronic media room. It's a big room with Wi-Fi, and all these TV stations are actually, it's like a workstation. They also had press conferences there. It was just great just to see all the media that's from the area that cover the three schools that we cover, Auburn, Georgia, and Alabama. Talk about your relationship with like the TV news stations from Montgomery, Birmingham. A former WTVM sports director, Jonathan Hoppy, was there. Just talk about that networking with all the other news that's from the area, from Macon to Montgomery, because your paths do cross, especially when you're covering the same event.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And that was something that I've been very grateful for, was the opportunities I had in college to work at WVUA because I was covering every sport for Alabama. And when you do that, you're crossing paths with everybody in the state of Alabama from football, basketball, baseball, softball. And if you know anything about Tuscaloosa, they love them some softball up there, and they're pretty damn good at it, especially with people coming up. They average like 7,000 people a game. So you cross paths. I have a great relationship with our Gray affiliate, WSFA, Rosie Langello, Davis Baker, some of my good friends. And Poppy's one that, we never worked together. But when he was on his way out, I was coming in, and he's been a great mentor to me, kind of taking me under his wing, and he understands the market, and he kind of helped me along with Tony kind of get a grasp for everything. So, and him being in Birmingham, I was in that DMA, and I'm friends with all the people at ABC 30 through 40 and CBS 42, and Julian Mitchell at VTM is a good friend of mine as well. So I've been able to work with those guys for a good bit, and working with Hoppy has been great. We got to get him on the show. That was I think our first time actually on air together. So that was a cool experience. But it's great, and that's why you have those working relationships, because you kind of bounce everything off each other, trying to gather questions and figure out what's going on, and kind of hear the inside beat on some things on the industry, and everything in between, and kind of hear and bounce kind of stories off each other, and verify sources with everyone. And you're crossing paths a lot, because some of us are running around going to upstairs, do radio hits, going on Sports Vision 92.1, whatever it may be. So it's always fun to do that. And I've just been grateful to be able to work with so many great peers in the state.
Drew Pavan is, of course, the sports guy from WTVM. And of course, you get to the, you get to this SEC, this spectacular event. And you have to, I know that you're cool and calm and collected. You've been around the big boys, but there had to be that one moment in time when you saw somebody, one of the great people that you admired in the industry, whether it's a coach, a player, or whether it was a broadcaster. Hopefully it was a broadcaster that you saw there that you had been following and admired. But was there any of that? Give me that story.
I'm going to be honest with you, DJ. I'm not that type of, I had this conversation with Thrift while we were actually there. I've never been, I don't know what it is. I'm not a huge fanboy. I'm a big admirer of people in the industry. I mean, you go back to Reese Davis, I got to interview in college, and maybe that's just because of the opportunities I had at such a young age to interview so many great athletes and people in media and coaches. I mean, I was around Nick Saban for 3 years of my life at 2 or 3 of his press conferences a week. So you kind of you deal with that. Probably the biggest guy in sports, a man who's 5'6" but stands about 6'9".
Yeah,
it's a little bit different for me personally. I don't know. Seeing Arch Manning was weird, because to me he's just like the quarterback in Texas,
right?
And I said this to Thrift. There's like 2 people that I think I'd actually like fan over, and I grew up in New York, diehard New York Giants fan. My childhood bedroom there's a wall of posters of Eli Manning.
Okay.
And I got to do the Eli Manning Roland Toomer's corner thing. I didn't get to talk to Eli. He had bolted pretty quick. They were not doing local media interviews, which that I was a little disappointed with that. But just getting to be I think that was like the closest I'd ever been to Eli Manning, which is crazy. I'd met like Odell Beckham, and Saquon Barkley and I shared the same orthopedic surgeon when I was in high school. So I got to cross paths with him a little bit, and Victor Cruz I'd met a dozen times. So like growing up, meeting your heroes was cool. I mean, Arch Manning, there was just something about him. The media was juiced up about that kid, and I've never seen. That was the talk of the town, and especially because that was Georgia Auburn Day, that Tuesday morning.
Right.
There was all that media there, and Texas had to cap off the night. And Sark is, I like Sark because he's an offensive genius, but seeing Arch Manning was cool. I think one moment that I was kind of like we'll go off like taken back moments, I guess. I don't know if it was Tuesday. It was the day that Tennessee was talking, and I was walking around with a buddy of mine, and we were just trying to check the lay of the land. It was like 2 o'clock, and I guess a fan, maybe two fans, had snuck upstairs to the electronic media, where it's kind of like roped off, not like the college football Hall of Fame area where fans could kind of check in. And look, I'm in my suit. I'm wearing my best. I got my pinstripe suit on, my tie. I look pretty good.
Right.
I got my nice shoes on. He comes up to me and he asked, because I guess I had my buddy with me who was also in a suit, and he asked me if I was Miles Kitselman and the tight end for the Tennessee Vols. And I was just like, no, I'm not Miles Kitselman, because he was asking me, coming up to me for an autograph.
Right.
And that happens sometimes. People mistake me for athletes. I was at a Texas Rangers game one time in Arlington, and someone asked me if I was Jake Ferguson of the Dallas Cowboys. Like, that just happened. I mean, you're naturally 6'6", 220.
Right.
People are going to automatically think you're an athlete at some point. But I
Yeah.
was just like, no, I'm not. It was, my buddy was dying laughing, because I was like, oh, this happens a good bit. Especially when I went to Alabama, people were always thinking I was just a football player on the team or something along the lines of that. So I guess that was one moment where I was kind of taken back. But when you get to be there, you see the SEC network sets. You see Feinbaum. Obviously growing up as a kid, you listen to Feinbaum on the radio, and I think it's more cool to see the production side of things, of how everyone else works. And I give a lot of credit to the producers and the camera people and everybody that makes those shows run, because people really, they don't get that credit, and I admire them a lot for all the work they do. So that's always cool, being on the behind the scenes of that stuff. And you see, obviously, all the podcasters and the radio people that you listen to for your sports college football content.
Drew, now that SEC Media Days is officially over, because it officially ended yesterday, just we got back a day early, you could soak it in and find out, especially for this upcoming college football season, who are the teams that are going to be up at the top this year? Who do you think is going to end up playing in Atlanta for that SEC championship? And who are some of the teams in the SEC that are going to be college football playoff contenders, in your opinion?
Yeah, Richard, we had to put in our polls, and voting yesterday was the last day to do it.
Yeah.
Did it Wednesday night. I think the SEC is kind of wide open right now, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. A lot of talented teams, and I think there becomes that uncertainty because there's so many teams with new quarterbacks. You look at Texas, you look at Georgia, you look at Alabama, you look at Auburn, but then you got your teams that have those quarterbacks. South Carolina, Lenore Sellers, he's a Heisman favorite. I really like LSU this year with Garrett Nussmeier. I like what he's got. He's a talented NFL quarterback with a great arm. He's got great pocket mobility. I like what he does on the outside. He's got a special arm. When you turn on the tape, it just pops off if you know what you're looking at. DJ Lagway at Florida is a great one. I don't think enough people are giving credit to Ole Miss this year. I really like Austin Simmons. The lefty quarterback used to play baseball, throw the ball a mile. DJ, if you remember that Ole Miss Georgia game out at Vaught Hemingway Stadium this year, Austin Simmons came in for one drive when Jackson Dart got hurt. I think it was the second drive of the game, and this kid walked down the field throwing passes, pop, 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 pop.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone kind of took a step back and was like, hold on a second here. Where did this kid come from? What has Lane got in his back pocket now? So I'm interested to see what he's got there. They got some returning talent, but honestly, it's kind of wide open right now. I'd put Georgia's got a lot of new faces, especially on offense. They got a whole and basically entire new offensive line. I like Frazier. I think he's a talented running back. Gunner, I don't know about you, but listening to Gunner Stockton talk, there's something about him that he's just a pure football guy. You talk about composure at a quarterback.
Yeah.
I was making a joke with a lot of people. He reminds me of a little Kirby, the way he looks. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I just feel like he needs that big visor.
Right.
And he doesn't know, but I love that.
Yeah.
The kid doesn't go on his phone. He's just cool, calm, collective. He's from like Raven County, drives an old F-150. He's just cool, calm. But there's just so many question marks around teams. I mean, Texas is a great team, but you don't know what Arch Manning's going to look like with a full season under his belt. I mean, you look at those Georgia games, he did not look that great. And Georgia had a heck of a defense last year. popped them around a good time, got them around. So a lot of good teams. I think Texas and Georgia are obviously the favorites to, I think, run it back in the SEC title game, but it's anyone's ball game this year. And I think with the SEC schedule, a lot of people are going to be beating up on each other. So we'll see what happens, but this just gets me juiced up for football season. I'm ready for August 30th to come around.
Yeah, absolutely. Drew, as we wrap this up, again, let's bring it a little closer to home. High school football season is only a few weeks away, and I know that you guys have big plans. You want to share the light or enlighten us on what you guys got coming up?
We got a lot. We got a lot coming up. That's for sure. This is my first. I joined the staff last year at the end of August,
right?
So I didn't get this precursor to Sports Overtime. I actually joined. I think my first show was week 3 that I joined in. I think my first day was a Thursday, and I think I picked up a camera that night, and I was like, "Let me. I'm dying to get back on the sideline, so let me get in there, get to work." No, I'm excited. A lot of great stuff in plan. Of course, our state line showdown game this year, I was able kind of to lead it and pick the teams this year. And we got a great matchup. It's Opelika Callaway, one of the biggest ones you can get.
Yeah.
And that has become a great rivalry, talking with Brian Moore and Pete Wiggins about it. 2 great coaches in their own rights in the state of Georgia and Alabama. We're excited to get on the call for that game. Of course, we're going to broadcast that on ABC, and we got such a big crew over there at WTVM, and that gives us the ability to broadcast the game live. That'll be on Thursday, and I think it's August 28th is the official day. So that's exciting. A lot of new stuff coming in with Sports Overtime. We got a magazine. Promos are being cut now. It just gets me excited. We got God knows how many media days coming up next week. I think we got 4 from Friday to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and 30, 40 teams are going to be there from Alabama to Georgia. So that gets you excited about what's coming up, and you hear everything. But we got a lot in store this year. But, you just kind of try to take it day by day. And, that starts with today. Our company, Gray Media, we're partnered with the Atlanta Braves this year. And the Atlanta Braves are back in action tonight. Braves take on my hometown New York Yankees. On ABC. You catch that game at 7:15. I'll be live up there from the A tonight, Truist Park. I'll give you your full pregame report, and then I'll be there postgame live as well. So you don't want to miss that. But Sports Overtime, can't wait for my full year this year under the belt in year 2. We got a lot in store, so you don't want to miss it.
Great. Sounds wonderful, man. Hey, listen, before you get out of here, let everybody know again where they can find you on social media. And, of course, you just mentioned where they can see you on television, but go ahead and remind them.
Yeah, absolutely. My socials are Facebook and X. It's the same, Drew Pavan TV. And then you catch me on the weekends and during the week reporting. And starting tonight, I'll be up in the A at 5 o'clock live from Truist Park, breaking down Yankees Braves. And then over the weekend, stay tuned because we got a lot in store.
All right. Drew, we thank you so much, man, and have a great rest of your morning.
Yeah, you guys too.
Thanks, Drew. Right. Take care. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a break. You're watching Facebook Live, and you're listening to WLTC Sports Visions 921. We are your hometown sports guys.
Look out! Pop, it's showtime. Guess who's back again? Oh, they don't know. I bet they know as soon as we walk in. Showed up, I'm wearing Cuban links, designer mix, Inglewood's finest shoes.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sportsvisions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer. Catch me at 9 a.m. every weekday morning, right here on Sportsvisions 92.1.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams July summer sale and get 30% off paints and stains July 18th through the 28th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your interior or exterior, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store or shop the sale online. Delivery available on qualifying orders. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
AutoNation's Columbus, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram. We believe in giving people a break. Like $16,000 off a 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie Crew Cab 4x4. Or $21,000 off a 2024 Dodge Charger Daytona Scat Pack all-wheel drive. And if credit's been a struggle, don't stress. We've helped folks with no credit, bad credit, even bankruptcies. We're here to help, not judge. Looking for a solid used ride? We've got thousands at AutoNation's Columbus, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. And with 2 locations in Columbus, we're closer than you think. Come see us. We'll treat you right.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Then here's a great idea. Donate your car and help veterans and their families. Yes, one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program and we'll come and remove your car for free. Fast, free towing, and 24-hour response. You can donate most cars, trucks, or SUVs in most conditions. The proceeds raised goes to help active military, veterans, and their families, and you get a tax deduction. All you need to do is make this free call. Get rid of that old car and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now and book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Donation Program now. Donate your car and help veterans and their families. Operators are standing by. Here's the number.
800-890-7021. 800-890-7021. 800-890-7021. That's 800-890-7021.
Gory's Furniture Express, your expressway to save.
Gory's Furniture Express would like to thank everyone who voted them the best furniture store in Lee County and surrounding area for the 17th year in a row. They're the largest locally owned furniture store in the area with 106,000 square feet of in-stock furniture, from rugs to recliners to sofas and more. And that's only at Gory's Furniture, Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband. He lost weight. More important, cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend went, and she lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months. So does Mark Patrick hypnosis work? Oh yeah, it works. Nothing has changed my life more. Well, except maybe my husband. He's so proud of me. Makes me cry.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick's seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. That's right. Weight loss seminar Wednesday, July 23rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites at North Lake in Columbus at 5:30 p.m. Registration starts at 5 p.m. Stop smoking seminars at 8 p.m. with registration at 7:30 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Attorney advertising. Georgia. Attorney 770 Good Law Car Accident Lawyers. Paid after dramatization. Top dog does not mean we are the best. No guarantees of success.
If you don't stop playing, that dog ain't playing. If you don't get that dog what he want, I'm telling you he's gonna bite you. Just give him what he want. Don't go back and forth with him. Just give him what he want. Oh, now you done did it. The dog's starting to walk around in circles. When he get ready to do that, he's getting ready to bite you. He ain't chasing his tail. He's getting ready to bite you. Oh no, he's biting you. Top dog, chill. Let him go. You gotta chill. You gonna hurt him. Go and kill him. Just give him what he want. You give him what he want, he'll let you go. Just give him what he want. See how easy it was. That's all you had to do. Just had to give him what he want. He would have been let you go. Now you hurt. They didn't have to be this way. All that money your insurance company made. I know Top Dog wanted a lot, but all you had to do is just give it to him. Any accident, Top Dog Law.
WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1. The Herd with Colin Cowherd. 12 to 3 on Sports Visions 92.1. Now back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Here's Carver Tigers legend DJ Jones and Thrift
Richard Holdridge, man, I tell you, my mouth is already ready to say Thrift Barringer, but I've been saying it so long. But Thrift is enjoying himself. And again, you guys ought to be very, very proud of him. The fact that he's taking a much-needed vacay, and he's going to be spending some time with his family, resting up, because this young man has done some tremendous work here in the past several years with regards to up and getting Georgia Alabama Sports Live up and running and streaming and picking up different games and programs and exposing all sports all over the area. And Richard, you and Thrift, as well as the team of broadcasters and producers, have done a tremendous job, and want to commend you on behalf of course, Sports Visions and all that you do for Sports Visions.
Well, we appreciate that, DJ. Going on year 3 of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. High school football is going to be just around the corner. And I do want to say something about Thrift and just everything that he has done just to build up Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and plus his work on Sports Visions, that this vacation he's going on is well deserved, because even the busiest person in our industry needs to have a little R&R. And I think it's a great opportunity just to spend time with a family, to relax, not necessarily checking your phone periodically, maybe a little bit. I don't know how the cell phone service is on these cruise ships, but they do have Wi-Fi. We're hoping that, he can maybe check in and see, how he's doing. But, this is his time just to enjoy it with his family. And we got you, Thrift. We're holding down the fort. I know that I got some things that I'm going to be doing for Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We got some state of the programs next week. We also have the Saymark basketball camp. I'm going to drop by CSU, and we're going to be live streaming the championship game. I'm looking forward to that, but can't wait to have Thrift back in studio in about a couple weeks, and once his cruise is over, and I'd love to hear that experience too.
Absolutely. And again, back to Drew Pavan, who we just got off with interviewing him. He is the sports anchor, sports reporter with WTVM. He and Tony Reese are one heck of a tandem. And, Drew, I think, he working at the University of Alabama, that's the benefit of having going through their journalism program and having, like you said, being on campus with Nick Saban and being around one of the biggest and the best in college football for so long. It's going to really take a lot to spook him or to fanboy him, because he's seen it. He's been around the biggest and the best, but still, even as much as I have been exposed to and as many opportunities as I've had, I still get excited about certain people. And, again, that's just the difference in me and Drew. But, I know that, he has a tremendous future in front of him, bright future, because, again, he has already made me understand that he definitely could be a radio talk show host, as well as what he's done with his television work. And you know what? He has a very, very bright future.
Absolutely. Got a chance to see him when he got introduced to Sports Overtime last year. And, my first impression of him, he a big, tall guy who's got a physical presence, but also has just a great voice and a great passion for broadcasting. And once I got to know him, a great guy, got to hang out with him at Stats. We were watching the All-Star game, and I'm proud to call Drew Pavan my broadcasting colleague. I love all the work they do at WTVM with him, Tony Reese, Mackenzie Collins, Steve Pineda, Jeremy Hayes. I mean, it's a team effort, and they're going to be busy this upcoming high school football season. But what a great interview with Drew Pavan, and you can catch a replay of that on the Sports Visions Facebook page, YouTube channel, the Sports Visions radio app, and Apple and Spotify.
Absolutely. Richard, let's bring it a little closer to home, and let's talk a little bit about the Clinkstones, because they are back in action tonight on the road and right outside of somewhere in Alabama, some little town over there. But they got this trash name, man. I'm not digging it. Yeah, the trash. I mean, goodness God,
Where are they coming up with these nicknames? They said the same thing about the Clinkstones.
They did, but the Clinkstones is at least bearable. But the trash, you put trash, that's not synonymous with anything but dirt.
So the guy that I was working across of in the digital media room he works for Fox 54 up in Huntsville. And we got to conversation about the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And I was like, oh yeah, the Clinkstones, they got them for a 3-game series up in Huntsville. And we were talking about the Huntsville area, what minor league baseball was like. It was nice just to talk to other local people that cover like the Rocket City Trash Pandas. So we're going to have an opportunity to see them. Jack Johnson making his way up to Huntsville. He's probably there now, but it was nice for him just to have the nice vacation. And then you could catch that game on Sports Visions 92.1 later tonight. It's just a 3-game series because we're coming back from the All-Star break. And then the Clinkstones are going to be back in town on Tuesday at Synovus Park taking on the Chattanooga Lookouts.
Absolutely. And again, getting back in the saddle, of course, after a much needed break, the whole entire crew, the front office. I don't know if those guys actually had time off in the front office, but again, Pete Lavin and his administration down there with the Clingstones at Synovus Park, man, they've done a tremendous job, and the whole staff, from the field crew to the front office, these guys have been putting in work.
Yeah, and I'm excited about this upcoming 6-game series with Chattanooga. Friday is Star Wars night. You a big Star Wars fan, DJ?
Not exactly, but again, I can role play.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of interested to see who is going to show up to Synovus Park in Jedi robes when it's going to be 90 degrees outside, but or stormtrooper or dressed like the Mandalorian or Baby Yoda. But I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I love when these minor league teams actually. You usually have Star Wars night on May the 4th, obviously, because that's a pun. May the Force be with you. But I'm excited. I'm going to try to make it to Synovus Park for a couple of games next week because, I'm excited that anytime the Clingstones are back in town, it's an event, especially for everybody that I know that goes to a Clingstones game here in the Columbus area. It's just so much to do. That venue is just top notch, and it's just a great event. Looking forward to it.
I saw some really nice pictures of you and your lovely wife down at the park. You got your Clingstones t-shirts on, and you guys act like you were on your first date.
Yeah, it was a very nice moment. We had a babysitter for the kids, and so we decided to go to Synovus Park. It was not on our anniversary, but it was just it was one of the most unique moments that we had some alone time, and we got to watch a baseball game because my wife does love baseball. She's grew up a Braves fan, obviously. So, me being a Giants fan, we try to go to every Giants Braves game we possibly can. But I think that this was just a very special moment because, we went into the Orchard store. It's like, okay, well, what t-shirt you want? We're going to get some Columbus Clingstones t-shirts. And then I went ahead and just snapped the photo, and it was a special moment.
Good deal. I think you guys should take an opportunity to do more of that.
I definitely it's on the horizon. We got to find some babysitters for those kids. Even though, I think that they would be interested in going to a Clingstones game. In fact, my church is actually having a group night in the next couple of weeks, and the kids just want to go just because they want to play with other kids.
No doubt. And they have definitely the areas down there where they can do so. I tell you, when we got coming up here in just a little bit, we're going to talk to Thomas Sims, who is a certified NFLPA agent. And again, what does that mean? That means he's going to be able to give us some insight into the contracts and some of the situations as it pertains to training camp and the rookie holdouts and anything else that we're talking about. Again, the National Football League Players Association is just a great part of the game. And again, it represents the players. And again, you have two sides of it. You have the owners and the players. And I had an opportunity to take advantage of one of the programs with the trust that the NFL Players Association provides for retired players by going down to New Orleans over the weekend, actually over during the first part of the week. We got down there Sunday, stayed down there through, of course, Wednesday, and got back, but was able to go through a full brain and body assessment over at Tulane University, one of the renowned medical institutions in the United States. And again, you're talking about the Cleveland Clinic or the Harvard Clinic.
Yes.
All of these. I mean, that's high cotton. And what an experience I shared with everybody yesterday. But, we'll have an opportunity to talk to Thomas Sims in just a little bit. We're going to take a break. We're having just a little bit of some difficulties, but we're going to take a break, clean that up, and we're going to come back with Thomas Sims on the Sportsvisions Morning Show. You're watching Facebook Live, and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sportsvisions 921. This is the Sportsvisions Morning Show.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for making us your home for local, regional, national sports talk in the Chattahoochee Valley. This is Sportsvisions 92.1.
Good morning, I'm Rex Castillo. Here's a look at your morning headlines. 41-year-old Aaron Williams is the Auburn man now charged with capital murder and kidnapping following the shooting deaths of his wife and her teenage daughter. He was extradited from Tennessee and is now being held without bond in a Lee County jail. According to new records, the gun used in the killings, based on forensics, was found in Williams' possession, and he was captured in Tennessee. Williams is now facing 4 counts of capital murder and 1 count of kidnapping. Meanwhile, 52-year-old Cesar Campos Reyes is expected to appear in court at 11 a.m. Central Time. He's accused of defrauding COVID relief programs and misusing more than $225,000 in funds intended to help small businesses survive the pandemic. He turned himself into authorities late Tuesday. That followed a day of raids on multiple businesses in the Auburn-Opelika area by federal agents. Campos Reyes has been indicted by a federal grand jury. From WRBL News 3, I'm Rex Castillo. Have a great rest of your day.
Good Friday morning. We're off to a muggy and partly cloudy start. Those temperatures in the mid-70s, and expect a similar forecast this afternoon like we experienced yesterday. Highs reach the mid to low 90s before isolated showers and storms cool us off, all associated with that tropical moisture. And heading into the weekend, rain chances back off with that heat building in the forecast. Those highs likely to reach upper 90s in some spots. Heat and humidity staying in that extended forecast. The dog days of summer are here.
Hey there, fellow travelers. It's me, the Hotel Whiz. Before you go anywhere, call me day or night for hotel rates too low to publish. I'll save you up to 75% on over 500,000 hotels across the globe. You see, I've already done the research, so you don't have to spend time online trying to find the best deal. That's up to 75% off. Just call me, the Hotel Whiz. It's a free call, and you get instant access to rates too low to publish with no cancellation fees.
Make a free call now and save up to 75% off your hotel rooms the next time you're going somewhere for business or pleasure. Call the Hotel Whiz now and get instant access to rates too low to publish.
800-710-3739. 800-710-3739. 800-710-3739. Call the Hotel Whiz right now at 800-710-3739.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your priceless vinyl collection. Sure, you sleep on a futon because the money most people would have spent on a bed you spent on more records. But forget the fact that you can stream just about any song ever created for a few dollars a month. No, you need to listen to music in the most difficult way possible. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Provide-A-Fest Indie Music and Arts Festival is Saturday, August 16th at Woodruff Park in Uptown. Enjoy live music from local artists, fun field day games, delicious food trucks, and more. Get tickets at provideafest.com.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You've had fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Lori's Furniture Express, your express way to save.
If you're looking for furniture, you need to shop Gorey's Furniture Express. It's the largest furniture store around with over 106,000 square feet of in-stock merchandise with new shipments arriving weekly. Locally owned and operated with everything you need from rugs to recliners to sofas and more. And that's only at Gorey's Furniture, Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
AutoNation's Columbus, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram. We believe in giving people a break. Like $16,000 off a 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie Crew Cab 4x4. Or $21,000 off a 2024 Dodge Charger Daytona Scat Pack all-wheel drive. And if credit's been a struggle, don't stress. We've helped folks with no credit, bad credit, even bankruptcies. We're here to help, not judge. Looking for a solid used ride? We've got thousands at AutoNation's Columbus, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. And with 2 locations in Columbus, we're closer than you think. Come see us. We'll treat you right.
Join Mark Patrick's seminars and lose the weight guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Seminars Wednesday, July 23rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites at Northlake in Columbus. Weight loss seminar starts at 5:30 p.m. with registration starting at 5 p.m. Stop smoking seminar starts at 8 p.m. with registration at 7:30 p.m.
Catch the Paul Feinbaum Show, 3 to 7 on Sports Visions 92.1. Now back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Here's three-time Georgia Bulldog SEC champion and 1980 national champion, DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones, Richard Holdridge in the building. It's Friday, TGIF, and Richard, we have made it to the end of the week.
We have made it all the way to Friday. I am so excited as I love the weekends because not only do I get to sleep in, it's also just a time to relax, but still got the honey-do list. Gotta mow the lawn, gotta do all the stuff, gotta go to Home Depot and get some stuff like some tools and get ready to get those big projects that, I save that stuff for the weekend.
Absolutely. Hey, big shout out to Drew Pavan with WTVM's sports anchor reporter, of course, talking about his SEC Media Day experience. And of course, we are proud of the work that Drew was able to do. Also, Dana Barker. We are only a few weeks away from high school football season, and to come on and to talk about the referees, their responsibility, and again, break it down, just peeling back the layers, talking about, the things about how they do, how they get certified, what it's like, what do they have to do to be conditioned? I mean, it's these are the things that fans, and I'm a fan now, and I ask these questions, as I will be of our next guest, who is, of course, a longtime sports agent, registered with the National Football League Players Association. He is also a standout defensive back out of the University of Tennessee. His name is Thomas Sims, and he's hails in Texas right now. Good morning. How you doing, man?
Good morning, guys. How you guys doing?
Good. Yeah. Hey, listen, I appreciate you waking up with us this morning. I know that you are Central Time, so that makes it extra early out there right now.
Absolutely. I am in Longhorn country, right outside of Austin, Texas, for my family reunion. This is our 55th year.
Wow.
Getting together every year and celebrating, which actually started in Columbus, Georgia.
Okay. All right.
So we move around now, and Texas family decided to host this year. So we out here for the weekend. So
that family that's here in Columbus, is that primarily the Sims?
It is the Sims family. Absolutely.
Good deal. Hey, man, listen, I want to let you know, and I want to thank you as well. Again, your last appearance here a couple of weeks back, I think that damn thing went viral, man. We were talking again, but this is the kind of information people want to know that they don't get. And of course, thanks to you and all your expertise in the 20 plus years that you've been in the agency business, representing players, working with programs and teams, you giving us insight that, just invaluable with regards to being up to date and knowing what the hell's going on with professional football.
Well, listen, man, I enjoy coming on you guys' show. You guys do a great job of informing, your listeners, not just about football, but a lot of different areas that you guys cover. From high school, from business stuff to life in general, and what's going on, in the United States. So again, I appreciate you guys having me, and I don't take it for granted.
Absolutely. So they're going to say, what are you guys going to talk about today? Well, you know what? We got a lot to talk about because, again, you know what? This just came up, and I know that you've heard, what's going on up with our executive director at the NFL Players Association, Lloyd Howell. I'm sure you're familiar with him, but just for the folks out there that don't know and don't understand, I mean, what kind of stuff has he been involved with to make him step down?
Yes. So Lloyd Howell was I guess he's been in the executive director position with the NFL Players Association, which is the union for the players.
Right.
So the union, they're there to advocate and fight for the players' safety and health, and also contract negotiation. So apparently, what's been reported is that he helped suppress a ruling that found that the owners colluded to suppress guaranteed money for the players. And this is stemming from the Deshaun Watson fully guaranteed contract a couple 3 years ago. So the owners, when they get together in Florida, not only do they get together, to make rule changes and things like that regarding the upcoming seasons, they also talk about, hey, again, how can we, hold back the money, not give guaranteed money, fully guaranteed money to the players. As you've seen this year, there's a lot of holdouts from NFL camps. That has not been the issue over the past few years when the new CBA came down and a collective bargaining agreement came down in 2011. But what is happening is that the players won't guarantee money outside the first round.
Right.
So now guaranteed money that is it's in the second round for the players. And so we've worked over the years to continue to increase those numbers of players who should have guaranteed money in their contract. And so he suppressed that ruling as well. Plus there was some information regarding some sexual discrimination from his last job with the Carlisle Group and Sam, I think Sam Howell Group, whatever consulting firm he was from. So he made a decision that, hey, the brand is bigger than the person. And so, DJ, as you well know, at all costs, protect the brand, protect the shield.
Right.
And so he sent out a notification immediately resigning.
Tommy, when it comes to contract negotiations, we always hear this term team-friendly deal. Can you describe exactly what that means and how it benefits the team compared to the player?
Okay, correct. So a team-friendly deal basically means that a player will accept a deal that's lower than his value, right? So let's say the player value is at $20 million, for his draft slot or value. So the player comes in and says, instead of giving me the whole $20 million, give me 15, and you can probably kind of defer the other 5 till 3 years down the road, and it gives the team that extra $5 million to go out and sign other players to help strengthen the roster. So he takes a flyer on his deal. Now, when they say team friendly, he didn't give up that $5 million, extra $5 million. He just kicks the can down the road a little bit.
Right.
And for that particular year, it gives the team an extra $5 million in cap space to go out and sign other players.
Makes sense to me. Tommy, we're right here at training camp. Teams are reporting really all the game, what do you call that? Hall of Fame game? I mean, those teams are already got their rookies in camp and whatnot. But as we prepare this time of year for the folks that are listening out there, help them understand, whether it's a rookie holdout or whether there's a free agent holdout. And thank God, TJ Watts, big shout out to him and his representatives, man. They got him, more money than God. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And that's the second time they made him the highest paid non-quarterback. So
yes.
TJ Watts. But anyway, as we're on into training camp and some guys who are not signed, can you elaborate on what holdout mean, or again from an agent to his player, especially a young player that needs to be in camp? How do you navigate that?
Yes. Well, certainly, holdout means basically you're not reporting to camp because you've got a contract dispute, right? And so now we're hearing about the Cincinnati Bengals first round pick Shamir Stewart, the DN out of Texas A&M, who's deciding that again they are fighting over guaranteed money. There's some default language as well in that contract, but mainly it comes back to the money. So the kid has said, hey, I'm going back to Texas A&M and I'm going to work out there. Maybe I'll set out the draft and wait next year. Certainly, there's some strategy and there's some leverage that you have as a player. The teams have most of the leverage. They have your rights. And so at some point, we, as an agent, we have to, say, listen, this is not my contract. This is about the player's contract. So after you negotiate, you push back as hard as you can. Sometimes at some point you have to do the deal, right? You have to get your kid in to the system and start to play and start to, to get ready for the upcoming season. Because remember, guys, this is not a right to play NFL football. This is a privilege. These are 32 privately owned companies. They do not have to play you or draft you or, bend over backwards to sign you, because they know that in 365 days, there's another draft coming out. Okay, so that you're always replaceable. So as an agent, we keep in mind, okay, we've gone to the 11th hour. Okay, we've done our best to, redline all the default language to get you as much guaranteed money. And I tell my players all the time, I would tell Mr. Stewart, do not give back $18.4 million. Okay?
Okay.
This is not This is not something that you cannot make up. And agents have made mistakes in the past by asking guys to hold out for a year and give that money back, and then boom, it's a short career anyway. So, that's what holding out means, and you're seeing that more and more because of the guaranteed money issue.
Now, Tommy, let's pivot a little bit here again, and we're talking money. But we're also going to talk money of college football coaches. And again, we're talking the big conferences, Power Fives. And again, we're talking the Kirby's and the Dabo Sweeney's and those kind of
yes.
It's great and it's wonderful to see how it's evolved for these guys, and it's become a really lucrative career. And it's a lot of pressure now. Again, you can't ask for a lot of money and not have that pressure. But it seems like there are more and more big contracts for these guys now, as opposed to, again, now trying to navigate and trying to figure out what these kids are worth. Talk to me about what's your mindset as it pertains to the kind of money that the collegiate coaches are making versus how they're putting caps or limits on what players can make.
Yeah, for sure, DJ. So, as you guys know, this past week they had the preseason SEC Media Day.
Yes.
And so all the coaches in the SEC, they were singing from the same hymnal book. Okay. They all came up saying, whoa, we should do something about cap, about revenue sharing, right? Every last one of those guys came up and said basically the same thing. So, they have all gotten together, right, to try to, push this narrative about, hey, you need to cap the players, but don't cap us. Now, these guys are making $13, $14, $10 million a year. They are the highest paid state employee by a lot. And they tend to forget that, hey, their contracts are public records too. And so we can see what they are making. But that is just the reported revenue. Right, DJ. That is just what's in the unreported is the TV contracts, right?
Right.
The radio, the shoe deals. Don't forget the house that they live in is given to them by the university. So are the cars. Okay, and the clothing and the food. and don't let me forget one of the biggest perks that they get. That is the speaking engagement, the appearances, the honorarium that they get for showing up to these booster clubs meetings. So they get a lot of money that they don't want you guys, the audience, to see, but they have no qualms about talking about holding back money for the kids who deserves it, who the players who go out and perform on the field. And so, as you guys know, I advocate for the players. I have to.
Yes.
And it's hypocrisy 101 for these guys to come out and start talking about capping revenue for these kids when they don't get capped at all.
Tommy, with these new players coming into the league that have witnessed NIL deals, has that increase the value of their contract in the National Football League? Or are they all tied into trying to get the most money they can in the NFL because they've already got an NIL deal in college. I mean, what are some of the factors that go into the negotiations? Are they trying to get more money, or are they okay with taking less if that means getting some more help to help with the cap?
Yeah. Well, this generation of players, they're certainly more business savvy than we ever were. Okay. Right. So they're dealing with money way, sooner than the old generations. Right. And so they, you do have guys, that will come in and say, hey, I'm not playing for, this amount of money, versus, what we like, hey, we'll just play for anything, coach. Just give us a helmet. So yes, they are more conscious of it because they have to, they enter into this this business side of football much quicker than previous generations. And so, you'll hear guys say, hey, I think my worth is X. Right. Versus, what the team is offering because, I made $2-3 million while in college. And now they want me to come and play for $950K. And I think that's an undervalued contract. So this generation of players certainly are more in tune to the numbers.
Absolutely. He is the pride and joy of America's Georgia. His name is Tommy Sims. He's a Tennessee volunteer. And, of course, he is an NFL certified agent with the National Football League Players Association. Listen, we got a number of topics. The next one is, again, and this relates to our high school coaches in and around the areas. But one thing that I do know that's different in Teddy Bridgewater and what these coaches are around here, a lot of those guys haven't played in the National Football League and certainly hadn't earned that handsome salary that Teddy has had and been afforded to, again, use in his program. Now, with that said, for the people that are familiar with the situation down in Miami, South Florida area with Teddy and him being suspended, but will you eloquently explain to these high school coaches and to these ADs in this area, what happened and how could that possibly affect them?
Right. I mean, the suspension of Teddy Bridgewater is unfortunate and it borderlines ridiculous. Okay.
Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater took his own money.
Yes.
And paid for Uber rides for kids who don't have transportation. Paid for meals, paid for recovery services, paid for them to go to a 4-day training camp. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And so apparently there's some, violation with the state of Florida High School Football Association, which should be taken out of the books. Teddy Bridgewater got suspended, not for cheating, not for stealing, for caring too much.
Okay.
And we hear this all the time, gentlemen. These football players, they get a chance. They're blessed to go play NFL. They make a lot of money, and they never give back to their communities that they came from.
Right,
DJ? That's the number one knock on them. You forgot where you came from, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Teddy Bridgewater has gone back to his alma mater, which is in a economically disadvantaged area in Florida. Okay? And from South Georgia, what we call that's poor.
Yes.
Okay? He has taken not only his money, but his sweat equity and poured it back into these kids. And for that, he has been suspended. And mind you, the school is not paying them. He is not on salary. He is a volunteer coach.
Wow.
So he's not collecting any money from the school or the state of Florida. And for them to send this kind of message to these young men, Teddy Bridgewater has showed love and leadership. And that's what we look from our coaches. And so the difference is Teddy Bridgewater does have resources to do that. Most high school coaches do not have, NFL money in the bank that they can pour, but they pour more than just money. They pour their sweat equity.
Right.
They pour their leadership as well too. So certainly, they don't have the brand or the cachet with Teddy Bridgewater, but certainly, coaches are just as important as one of the most important figures, in your life growing up. So, kudos go out to high school, middle school, little league coaches who pour that time into their players. And man, Teddy Bridgewater should be reinstated immediately.
I tell you what, Tommy, I'm glad we're talking about this because most recently we've had a situation here in Columbus. Jarvis Jones, the former University of Georgia All-American or the number one draft choice for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who played at Carver High School, he's returned to his high school. So are you telling me that if I don't know what the rules are in the state of Georgia, but basically, that's why we wanted to talk about that, because again, if it gets in a situation, and you know how it is with fundraising and booster clubs, and some people just don't have the capabilities of raising them funds. If he wanted his kids to have a certain training session, or if to have some meals or have an Uber ride, you mean to tell me he can't spend his own money? And I know that the states are different. We don't know the rules.
Right.
But even at that, that's something for us to perk our ears up about.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Kudos to Jarvis for coming back. I know he was at the University of Georgia at one time. And so certainly, coming back, and giving back is certainly super important. So I applaud him from that. DJ, we have this discussion all the time now about South Georgia versus North Georgia, right?
Right.
The difference is that, these kids in South Georgia, they don't have the resources. They're not the big companies are not there. The jobs are not there, right? So back in the old days, the booster club could come and give meals and stuff. And so now it's mostly done by the coaches, who has to come out of their pockets and fund these teams. Where in Gwinnett County, they've got big booster club. I mean, these kids go to Outback Steakhouse for pregame meals. I mean, they get treated pretty well. Well, in South Georgia, it's different. So certainly, I hope that the coaches doesn't get fined or find themselves in any violation by coming out of their pockets and supporting the kids. Again, these kids don't have much on the table already. And if a kid lives out in the county and goes to a city school, he doesn't have transportation. What's wrong with a coach picking that kid up or paying for an Uber ride so he can get to practice?
Yeah.
Or school.
Yeah.
Tommy, I do want to bring it back to the players in the NFL, because recently Rashid Rice has been in the news, and we see this all the time. A player that gets into legal troubles, they might get cleared. They might serve their sentence, but the league comes down with a suspension. Do you agree with the league actually suspending players 2 games, 4 games, sometimes the whole season? Or do you feel like they've served their time? They broke the law, but they were able to serve their time, and that should be enough.
I do believe in some type of oversight from the league regarding suspending players, because the kids are watching. Okay. If a kid sees that a NFL player can get in a car, speed down an interstate, which is crowded, hit someone, jump out of the car and run, then they think that's okay to do once they get their cars. And so certainly, we fight against this as agents. We do fight against suspensions. We fight against the fine. That's the big thing, right? The fine, you want to suspend them, right? Because you do have a conduct clause. In the NFL does have a conduct policy. And again, they tell you, just because you're 6'4", 220 pounds and run a 4.3 40 doesn't give you the right to play in the NFL. This is a privilege. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're not canceling those games because you get suspended. You know what I mean? The game will go on. And so, yes, I think that, if there's, domestic violence is always one of the issues, right? That we talk about when players get into dealing with the cars, right? So at some point you have to, you have to send the messages that, you just can't be reckless and live the way you want to live, and then have the privilege to be in front of a camera, to play on Sunday, and to make millions and millions of dollars that could set you up for life. So yes, I think certainly there should be some type of punishment when guys get out of line.
Well, Tommy, I tell you what, man, you have been absolutely fantastic this morning. Of course, continuing to drop nuggets and educate our Sports Visions nation. I do want to say this, and I don't know whether is it a question, but more it's a statement. I most recently just got back from down in New Orleans. I was flown down on behalf of the NFL Players Association Trust program. Yes. And again, if you could elaborate, I mean, this program was great. I was able to get a brain and body assessment, and one of the most immaculate in the again, from head to toe. I know everything that's going on in my body now. As a retired player, is one of the benefits, one of the programs that the Players Association have negotiated in the CBA to help take care of us in the programs. But let me just tell you this, man. I want to be a voice, and I give my testimony to any and every former player. We're a little sometimes headstrong, and we've got type A personalities, and we don't want to deal with the bull crap. And you got to tell us 2 or 3 times. But man, these guys really need to tap into the trust with all the programs. And I just want to get your thoughts.
Yes. I mean, listen, I certainly love the trust. So one of the things when we hear about the collective bargaining agreement, and when this deal is being negotiated and renegotiated, it is the biggest part of it is current player salary, okay. But another important portion of it is retired player safety. Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. So the guys that played in the 70s, the O.J. Simpsons and the Walter Paytons and the Mean Joe Greens and all these guys that built the league. Yes. After they retired, they had nothing. They had no benefits. They walked around with their heads messed up because of CTE, the knees messed up with arthritis, and they just had to, just tough it out. And because of, what they call pre-existing conditions, no insurance company would pick them up because they had high blood pressure and diabetes, right? Because of all the pounding and what it took to play, in the NFL back then. So now with the trust, they are doing a great job for the former players, where we can go and we can get our head looked at. Okay. Yes. We can go and they can pull our blood. They can do a cardiology workup on us. Right. And they find out different things that's been going on, that previously, went misdiagnosed. And so, DJ, man, I went to one up in Atlanta for the I think back in early spring, and they just do a great job, and certainly some of these tests we can't afford it.
Right.
I mean, they give whole body scans and echograms that as a individual, some of us can't afford it. So kudos to them, man. I'm glad that you brought up the trust. It's doing a great job, and that's one of the areas where the CBA has certainly improved to help the former players who have put their blood, sweat, and tears and have come out of that industry with lifelong injuries that needs to be addressed.
He is Tommy Sims, longtime NFL sports agent. Tommy, you got any social media in presence, or you got anything that information that you want to give to anybody out there, a parent or a coach that might want to contact you regarding, some information? Because again, this knowledge is something that they need to know sooner than later.
Yes. So you can go to my Instagram is all lowercase, Tommy Sims 16. And also my sports agency is growthsportsgroup.com. So for high school parents and players who want to follow the NIL space, go to growthsports.com. And people who just want to look at my background or what I've done, I don't try to self-promote, but the young people told me, you got to get on Instagram, Mr. Sim. That's where the kids are, okay? So there we are.
Hey,
man, listen, I appreciate you guys, man, much more than you know.
Hey, man, listen, hey, we're going to have you back, man. Football season is just starting to kick off, man. So we got a lot to talk about and a lot to inform all of the folks about. So, hey, man, you enjoy your family reunion. You tell everybody out there that the Sports Visions Nation says good luck and have a wonderful time.
Thank you, sir. You have a blessed day.
All right.
Thanks, Tommy.
That's Tommy Sims. That's my guy, man.
Yeah.
He's I tell you, you don't get that kind of stuff on normal radio shows and sports talk shows. I mean, that's what I and having resources like Tommy and contributors, it's amazing, and it's just information that needs to be spread out to all the people that are a part of this industry.
Yeah, information is power. It was informative, and definitely going to have that one in the archives.
We're so fortunate to have Tommy on board with us. Hey, let's go ahead and take our final break of the day. You're watching Facebook Live, and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. We are your hometown sports guys.
This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Let's do this.
Sports Visions 92.1.
While serving in Afghanistan, I was shot in the head by sniper fire. The fighting was so intense, the medevac chopper was barely able to land. I was given a 5% chance to live. I'm Adam Alexander, and I'm a veteran. Today, I visit classrooms and talk with kids about dealing with life's struggles. I tell them, with a little help and a lot of work, that you can overcome any challenge.
DAV helps veterans like Adam get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year in life-changing ways.
I know that some struggles are big and some are small, but they're all struggles, and you have to learn to get through them. With support from DAV, more veterans like me can live their best life. And as a new father, I have one more reason to keep on keeping on. My victory is being there for the next generation.
Adam Alexander, may your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your priceless vinyl collection. Sure, you sleep on a futon because the money most people would have spent on a bed you spent on more records. But forget the fact that you can stream just about any song ever created for a few dollars a month. No, you need to listen to music in the most difficult way possible. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams July Summer Sale and get 30% off paints and stains July 18th through the 28th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your interior or exterior, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store or shop the sale online. Delivery available on qualifying orders. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Glory's Furniture Express, your express way to save.
If you're looking for furniture, you need to shop Gory's Furniture Express. It's the largest furniture store around with over 106,000 square feet of in-stock merchandise with new shipments arriving weekly. Locally owned and operated with everything you need from rugs to recliners to sofas and more. And that's only at Gory's Furniture, Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
Provide-A-Fest Indie Music and Arts Festival is Saturday, August 16th at Woodruff Park in Uptown. Enjoy live music from local artists, fun field day games, delicious food trucks, and more. Get tickets at provideafest.com. Join Mark Patrick's seminars and lose the weight guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Seminars Wednesday, July 23rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites at Northlake in Columbus. Weight loss seminar starts at 5:30 p.m. with registration starting at 5 p.m. Stop smoking seminar starts at 8 p.m. with registration at 7:30 p.m.
Your home for Falcons football. Sports Visions 92.1. Now back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Here's Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Famer DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Good Friday morning and welcome back to the final segment of the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones and Richard Holdridge. Richard, I'm going to stand up and give you some applause, man.
Thank you.
You did the damn thing this morning, man. I tell you what, Thrift, he did it as well, training you. And, of course, Thrift is, for those folks who didn't hear me, he's taking a much-needed vacay. He and his family, they're on a cruise ship right now. But, of course, that's just one part of it. He's much he's probably listening right now, and I would say shut that phone off, man, and then enjoy yourself. And again, we're so proud of Thrift. And again, you guys were rock stars earlier this week in Atlanta, up at the SEC Media Days. You done well, of course. You can go all over, and Richard, you can elaborate a little bit more. But for all of the all-star hits and work that these guys put in up in Atlanta, where can they find it, Rich?
They can watch it on the Sports Visions Facebook page, YouTube channel. You can also catch clips of the interview on the Facebook page as well. As I just posted the Josh Pate interview that Thrift Barringer did. That was just an excellent interview. I also got to interview Jake Crane from Daily Wire Sports. And also you can listen to the shows commercial free on Apple and Spotify. And as always, Thrift probably got his phone out and he's got the Sports Visions radio app right on his phone because he's somewhere in the Gulf of Mexico with not even near the station, but he's able to listen to the Sports Visions Morning Show. It's technology is just a beautiful thing.
It is, and that's so underrated, man. Regarding being able to take Sports Visions with you in and everywhere, in and out of the state, in and out of the country. Man, get your Sports Visions. Go ahead, go to your app store, download the Sports Visions radio show, and this logo. When you see this logo, then you know you're cooking with gas. Go ahead and upload it, and boy, you have it now, and you can always join us every weekday morning from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. And of course, you got to, of course, following us between Dan Patrick, Colin Cowherd, and Paul Feinbaum. That's the lineup all day long, and of course, the Clingstones in the afternoons, of course, while they're on the road, and of course at home. So, man, what a lineup!
Yeah, fantastic lineup. Dan Patrick follows us. And then Colin Cowherd. I mean, this is somebody I was listening to 20 years now. And of course, especially with college football season just around the corner, you know that the Paul Feinbaum show just ruffles some feathers. You know, people want to call in and talk about if Alabama wins or loses, that rivalry with Auburn, and of course, talking about Georgia. It's just a great time to be living in Columbus and covering college football. And we've got a fantastic lineup. And I'm looking forward to the Cleanstones tonight. 3-game series against the Rocket City Trash Pandas up in Huntsville.
Absolutely. And, of course, just before we go, Georgia Alabama Sports Live, you guys are doing something with the ADs around here that is giving people insight on their programs in their communities. And the name of it and where they can find it.
It's called Sitting with an Athletic Director, State of the Programs, and you can find it on Georgia Alabama Sports Live's Facebook page and YouTube channel. Last night, Thrift sat down with Coach Tanner Glisson talking about the state of the programs for Troup County, the baseball team winning a state championship, the football team always in contention. And I know that that is exciting. We've got a couple more schools that we're going to try to knock out next week. And then just before you know it, the fall sports is around the corner. That calendar turns to August. We've got softball and volleyball just right away, right when school starts. And of course, we've got some scrimmages that first weekend in August, and then football season. It's less than a month away.
Wow.
I cannot believe that, DJ.
Unbelievable. Big shout out to Tanner Glisson, of course, up at Troup County. He was the recipient of the first or the inaugural Sports Visions Summer Awards. And again, these awards are for these programs and coaches and teams that obviously late in the spring, right before school lets out, they went on to do something special. Tanner Glisson won a state championship in baseball, and of course school was out, and everybody heads to the beach, everybody heads for the hills, and nobody talks about it. But you know what we were able to do is use this platform to overcome that, and we instituted another program, as we have with our female athlete of the year and our football awards luncheon, and of course we do the San Mark Awards, basketball awards. So we just went ahead and instituted. We're going to definitely have in place a Sports Vision Summer Awards so that nobody will get left behind.
DJ, I'm glad that we are implementing the summer awards to recognize those spring sports champions. And I can't wait until we have a luncheon and just acknowledging the baseball and soccer teams, but also we got golf, we got lacrosse, swimming. I mean, it's just those don't get recognized that often. But
right.
when they do, it's very special. And I'm glad that we're able to cover those teams on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And then they have a platform where you can get them recognized and very well deserving.
Absolutely. Yes. A wonderful collaboration between Georgia Alabama Sports Live and what you guys bring to the table here with Sports Vision and vice versa. Once again, if I didn't say it enough already, Richard, congratulations to you and Thrift. I think that you guys have taken your next step in this business as far as, making it to, again, the ultimate, and that's the elite status, the top, one of the more well-respected guys and voices in the industry. And again, the sky is the limit for you guys.
I appreciate that, DJ. Yeah, going to SEC Media Days kind of built me some notoriety, getting my name out there, just talking to some local broadcasters in the area. And that's really, it's all about networking because you never know who you're going to run into.
As my wife would say, you are a star boy. You guys can't go anywhere now, man. I tell you, you guys are taking selfies, signing autographs. Thrift is probably signing autographs on that ship right now.
I'm sure somebody recognizes him on that ship.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you hear the music, you know what that means. That's going to do it for this edition of the Sports Visions Morning Show. On behalf of Richard Holdridge, Thrift Barringer, who's on a ship, I'm DJ Jones reminding you to keep your eye on the ball.
Yeah, I find you, I gave you all you needing. I know
You've been listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer. Brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. This is Sports Visions 92.1.
I tried to teach you.
Hi, it's Steve Mann. Have you heard the commercials for the Mark Patrick Stop Smoking seminars? And they said only $49.99 and it could work for you. So I thought, that's not even a week's worth of smoking. So